What's the first thing that comes to mind when you wake up? For me, it is, Father, I'm grateful. Grateful that I'm alive. Grateful that I get to join the living. Grateful that I get to think again. Grateful that I get to talk again. And I know that that's also your prayer, that we're grateful to God Almighty for giving us another day. Welcome to Wake Up Africa, another Wednesday, another conversation, another way to reshape Africa for the best. Today, we're going to be having lots of great conversations, and you want to join all of them. It's My Dominion TV. If you're home or you want to join us whilst you're going to work, My Dominion TV on Facebook and YouTube. You want to like, share, and drop comments. Guess what? Today is No Tobacco Day. Did you know there was something like that? Yeah, right. And tobacco has a long, or tobacco products have long chain of, interested people. Those who smoke it, or those who take it, drink it, eat it, however it is. Those who are exposed to it, those who sell it, those who are supposed to regulate it. It's a whole chain of people who are involved in this. Who is doing it wrongly? We need to get into. We want to get into the health part of consumption of tobacco on a high level, on a low level, to be exposed to it. What does it mean for your health? And also, we want to know the authority that is in place by the government to make sure that tobacco and tobacco products are actually turned out right, used right, not for our detriment. So we might be having the FDA in studio today to deal with all of these issues. Don't ever miss any of these conversations. Like the regulars, we're going to be having the weather, we celebrate birthdays, there's going to be tech and trends, and there's also going to be the financial evangelist. He's been talking about how to learn the marketplace language and make it as a Christian. All these and more up until 10 a.m. You want to join us? My name is Precious Biadola. Let's take a quick turn and then we'll be ready for the weather.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa Morning Show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess, that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show.
Okay, you heard the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. Good morning, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Wake Up Africa, great vision. We're ready for the weather now. Weather Prophet, good morning. Mr. Solomon. Good morning, Mr. Solomon. Still trying to reconnect with Mr. Solomon. I'm pretty sure we're ready for the birthdays now. That's if the weather is not, weatherman is unable to connect. But let me use this opportunity to say a good morning to the Bank Hospital. Thank you for supporting the morning show. The Bank Hospital is responsible for all your health fixes. And so you want to get there, you want to book an appointment, you can call them on 030-273-9373, 030-273-9373. Get to the Bank Hospital. They have lots of clinics for you. There's sickle cell clinic. They have camps, stroke camp and spine camp and all of the camps that are necessary for your information and also for your treatment. So get to the Bank Hospital. It's at Cantonment near NAFT and get your health checked out. Okay, now the weather prophet is on the line. Good morning, Mr. Solomon.
Good morning, dear Leather Precious One.
Wow, fantastic. I hope you're good.
By God's grace, I'm doing good.
Nice, nice. Take us away. What should we expect by way of weather report for today in Ghana and other parts of Africa?
Well, the lines are breaking, but let me see what I can do. Thank you very much, and let me first greet our church viewers and listeners of Wake Up Africa on Dominion TV.
Right.
This morning, midweek is here again, Wednesday, 28 days into the month of May 2025, and here we are with the weather update from now till tomorrow morning over the entire country. It's going to be mostly cloudy over the entire country with slight showers, mist and fog patches forming over parts of the coastal belt, forest and mountainous areas early this morning. Sunny conditions will prevail from late morning into the afternoon with isolated to scattered thunderstorms with rains over most parts of the coastal, middle and transition areas late afternoon into the evening hours before or after 4 p.m. Most West African countries like Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire will also experience rains today. The state of the sea will be, as usual, rough, so precautionary measures are also advised. Temperatures will range from 23 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius over the coastal belts, 23 degrees Celsius to 34 degrees Celsius over the middle sectors, 22 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius over the transition zones, and 24 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius over the northern sectors of the country. So viewers and listeners, as you are moving out, you can take along your umbrella since we are going to have rainfall activities over most parts of the country, especially the southern half of the country. So, dear Dela, my precious one, this is how the weather is expected to be for the next 24 hours over the entire country. However, I will keep you updated with any changes for listeners and viewers to be very much aware. Thank you very much. And I also want to notice, viewers and listeners, that today is 1 week observation of my stepmom's rights.
That's
so
really sad. Our condolence.
Thank you.
Well,
From here, I'm going there straight.
All right. May the Lord take you and bring you back safely.
Thank you.
Right, so there you have it. That's the weather. My Mr. Solomon. I actually said by Mr. Solomon because observers are worried. Good morning, Koku.
Good morning. Good morning to you too.
Am I not your precious one?
No, you are not. You and Weatherman, you can go and do my precious one anywhere. But of course, good morning to you. You're looking good.
Wait, who am
Is
I?
the spectacles?
No, it's not the spectacles.
Who are you to me?
It's called Grace. Who am I to you?
Oh, mother-in-law.
I'm not your precious one. Koku, you be careful. Anyway, I like your outfit. Do I like your outfit? I think no, I don't. I do.
It's just a simple shirt that I wore.
Hey, shirt and trouser.
As simple
Yeah.
And
But
my
I like
chase
it.
shoes.
Yeah. Hey, did you have to actually add the caveman watch and chase shoes?
Oh.
Really? Good morning, Jamafe.
Good morning, Daniel Odonko.
Yeah. So lots of stuff happening. It's time for us to celebrate birthdays. I know you have birthdays on your phone.
Why is May
the
over?
month of May.
It's not over. It's a spillover as well. There's also a spillover. you find that
right?
June, no.
Kakra.
From 1st to 12, no, they spilled over there.
Well, yeah, it's time for us to celebrate birthdays, and happy birthday to these people.
Yeah, it's your birthday. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday, woo, to you. Happy birthday, yeah, to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, yeah, it's your birthday. It's your day, one day out of 365. It's your day, one day out of 365. Happy birthday, woo, to you. Happy birthday, yeah, to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so happy birthday to you. You know what to do. Send us these beautiful pictures of those celebrating their birthdays, and then we'll be sure to celebrate with you. Special birthdays?
Yes. So today is the birthday of Jifa. Jifa is a co-host on City TV, and so yeah. So happy birthday to you, Jifa. Even though you today, I forgive you. So happy birthday.
Or could you have history with Jifa?
No, not that kind of history. No friends, please. I'm not like that. Thank you.
Like how?
Like whatever you had.
What am I thinking?
And of course, to Brakatu Frederick as well. Today is your birthday. Teresa Ega, you're also celebrating your birthday today. Oh, there's also Angela Damsa. Now, Mrs. Angela Question. So happy birthday to all of you. And of course, celebrate Greece and let God be God.
Amen.
Right.
And all his enemies scatter.
Yes, let God be God. Anyway, let's get ready to share with you news making headlines all over the world, and also on the continent of Africa and here in Ghana. Some of them could be, I'm just cautioning, so exercise via discretion in terms of the doom and gloom. It's nothing, it's the doom and gloom. There's a lot of doom and gloom on the continent of Africa.
Why is the bad news travel so fast?
Yes, and also, you see, one thing we need to understand is that we need to focus the attention. The West does it so much. We are not saying cover the rot or cover the doom or gloom. You must not be interested. We know that doom and gloom travels. But when you are going to cover, can you cover the progress as well? Because that is what people will see, and then it cascades. It has a ripple effect. And these things have to be taught journalists, though, right? And so, wake up, buzz up. Stay with us. Painting passes away at 74.
Yeah.
And so we'll discuss also a distinguished person in Ghanaian media, Nana Jan. Appen served in various influential roles throughout his career. He was former editor and columnist for the Mirror weekly newspaper, where his thought-provoking commentary earned him a loyal readership. He also held the traditional title of a Pejahini of Tafoiti in the Eastern region. I came very close. Extremely close through the Ghana Association of Writers. Not very close as in person, but very close in terms of association. And so I was shocked. I didn't know. The last time I saw him was when he was driving into sister station TV3. I don't know, some months ago.
Yeah.
So I had to call. When I saw it, I had to call or text a senior friend of mine.
Like,
When he was president of GAO, My senior friend was advised. I was like, is this true? I said, yeah. I had gone for treatment in the United Kingdom, and then the sad one happens. And so our condolences to the family and the very close acquaintances. And may God be with you in these very trying and difficult times.
All right. So the majority to lead probe into COVID-19 funds, JAPA deals, and then the PDS deals. So that's what the majority is looking at dealing with. It might not necessarily be this year, right? It might go into probably next year.
Why?
Such investigations might just, go all the way.
Oh, they know.
They know that
we'll fast track it.
We'll fast track it.
The main thing is our monies. But he appeared to be shouting yesterday, like when he was reading, he was doing so on top of his voice. I don't know whether he wanted to.
He was agitated or
no, showcase a certain bravado.
Okay.
And so when he began to speak, when he was not reading, his real self came. And so you just have to be firm and stand. This is my unsolicited advice. Firm and you don't have to be like your opponent where you understand. Yeah, you get what I mean. So relax. He was really shouting.
Yeah, like he wanted to prove a point.
Yeah.
So, you may never know. Probably that's what.
So we are waiting.
Right.
We are waiting. We are waiting for the COVID-19 funds. We shouted in this country. We had mismanaged it, and the JAPA as well. Please let's bring all our money back. Let's bring our money back. And PDS,
Yeah,
right.
PDS.
Right.
Okay, Wontumi picked up by Iyoko on his way from the CID interrogation. So he didn't even get to go home. Just Iyoko picked him up.
Yeah.
CID interrogation.
Yesterday night, if you were following the story, their party executives mostly had called people to amass them, some of them in the quest, some of the journalists, one journalist was assaulted live on camera. These guys were doing what they know how to do best in terms of hunaing you as the journalist. Heckling you. When the lawyer came, so apparently he fell sick in custody and so has been sent to the hospital. And then when the lawyer came, he was okay. Like smiling and saying, oh, they were interrogated, they've been asked to come back after he's back from the hospital. And so my question then is, why the agitations outside? Nobody will do. If Biadela does something wrong and they pick Biadela up and I know that Biadela did it, I will not go and stand there in solidarity. I will come to the court, but you go and face the rigors of the law. I'm saying it so that if she goes do anything.
But what to me, Asad now is in the hospital, so
yeah,
I'm sure they are giving you some drips and stuff to get.
So I've warned you on national television.
That's what I shouldn't do anything illicit.
Exactly, but when I do, you have to come.
I also have a problem with the fact that the moment there's this, national security, we're trying to do an investigation. It's like a whole party has been touched.
Yeah, that's how
I don't really know where that. We should. It is individuals that make a party. If Wontumi made money out of this thing, maybe yes, some he might have shared, but some actually goes to his pocket, right? And some of these things would be decisions that were made by him. So sometimes you should allow people to actually go through these processes and stop.
He himself was even calling. Remember when he was? You recall that when he was locked up in the house, not locked up, when they wanted to pick him up and he would not come.
Yeah.
He was making calls on radio. Mumbo, come on, political, come on, bro. I can't do the tree thing here. You see the house?
Yeah, really big, man. Really, really big.
Yeah. Anyways, on to the next story. It's as though he's waving bye-bye. Like
I tell you.
Kwame Nkrumah bye-bye, Sam.
Regional Minister leads demolition of illegal structures on Lashibi Ramsa site.
So the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklus spearheaded the task force to demolish unauthorized structures built on the Ramsa site at Lashibi in Tema. The targeted buildings are located in waterlogged areas. Look, we allowed someone to build a hotel here at places, and the other day our architect told us that indeed, because I said it on air that I saw another party person claiming that, so I thought it was a lie. But Reverend Nana Bafoboni agreed that that place is also supposed to be an ecological space or area and all, just like the Ramsa side, where all waters that flow from up would go settle in. People have gone to fill the place, build very, very sophisticated building on this land. And as though we don't have money to build. So that when their place will not flood, it is our place in town that will flood. Now when they are breaking it, you are kneeling down begging and praying and telling, cursing people, telling that as that they voted for whatever. You voted for what? So we should what? Abotre?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel you would feel same if your building is being raised down because you spent money building. That notwithstanding, it is wrong, right? But the question is, who sold the land? Let's look at the supply chain.
They don't sell it.
Who gave the land out?
They don't give it.
So you think people just woke up and went to build over there?
The understanding is that Ramsa sites must not be given. Permission must not be given. So you, the person who is going to build, the kind of buildings we are seeing there, the understanding is that you should know your staff very well. And they are calling it Ramsa site. Have you checked the meaning of Ramsa site?
No, the thing is, okay,
right.
That's what I am saying, because listening to the news, I actually saw a woman and she was, speaking Chi. She was actually really sad about this whole thing. And she was saying that the one who gave her the place kept encouraging her to even build. And the person, mentioned the person's name, the person worked, I think the person works with, is that Forestry Commission?
Yes, the guy was there himself.
Exactly, and then he was saying that, no, why would I say, I didn't take money from anybody. Yeah. But you see, there's no smoke without fire, which means that somebody, knowing very well that that land is not supposed to be giving out, might have ridden on the ignorance of certain people to make them build on those places.
Exactly. So you see...
So it is not that, I mean, the person cursing shouldn't be the issue. It is about who gave them what.
So you see, when you go now, the person, the thing that will be there, it will just be, pay the person the money. Because we all understand that Ramsa sites are not so, they are not giving, permissions are not given.
It's not all of us. How many, aside the Ramsa site, there are lots of waterways that people have built on. Who gave those places?
Yeah, they told you. When you go, the assembly, in their magnanimity, will tell you that, this place, is whatever. Then if you want to go, they tell you, I tell you for a fact. Go and ask them. But you see, my point is that while you are in my local parlance, and I don't know, you would have to explain to it. Okay, all right. So, so when you when you grieve for the chick, you grieve for the hawk as well, because the hawk is also looking for food. The chick is also looking for some place of safety. The places that get flooded down here because of the activities of these people up there, who speaks for these guys as well?
That's why I'm saying that we have to look at these officials who are responsible for these places. Who is supposed? So are you saying that the people who are responsible to make sure that the Ramsa site is not touched, they've never been to that area, they never saw the foundation being built?
Well, when we maybe come back from the news review, we'll get some of those details from Sister Steve.
Yes, somebody has to get serious.
So, producer, please.
To build to that level, and then you raise it. And this is not the first time this has been done. The question is, would it happen again?
Oh, yeah.
Would it happen again?
The president himself,
in which generation?
Went there is by executive order. Let's raise everything down there, clear the place.
So people were negotiating with him why it shouldn't even be done.
Oh, no, we are waiting. The president has given order. There's a president, so he has given order. Right. Go to the next story.
Oh my God, lawlessness, eh?
Yeah.
That's a huge price to pay. 2 jailed 14 years for defilement in disturbing money charm case for girls, Anna.
So the Just Circuit Court has sentenced 2 men to 7 years imprisonment each for defilement of a 50-year-old girl in the case that exposes alarming trends in sexual violence and exploitation in Ghana's rural communities. I see. The convict Joseph Boating alias Free or Small Pepe, 37, and Hashiru Zurkanini alias Scared Them, 27, were arrested by police in KJB for abetment of defilement and defilement, respectively, at their hideout in KJB on May 22nd, 2025. This was after the police received a report that on the same day, Joseph Boating accosted a 15-year-old girl who was returning from home after fetching water. The suspect promised to charm 2,000 cedis for her. And it goes to whatever.
Hey.
How many people? To how many years? 14 years.
14
So
years.
7.
Yes. Oh, it's not enough for you. It's not enough for Pepe, short Pepe.
Small Pepe and Scared Them. It's not enough. See, our daughters and sons must be left alone. Our children must be left alone.
Oh my God.
Our children must be left alone. You know. Well, we'll go to the next story. Children must be left alone.
UDS and GOA declares indefinite strike over withdrawal of office holding allowances.
But I told you.
Yes.
Once you start to pay some money,
It goes
it
all
the
the
people
way.
just,
Everybody.
They will come. Play.
But why would they wait for one person to start before they continue? Is it that
And it's testing the
issues-
waters.
okay.
So, you have been paid. It means money is there. Let's all go for allowances and all of that.
But I mean, if you have to just do the needful and pay the people.
It's not like pay the people. It's not
It's
as
what-
easy as that. The money is not there. So you have to manage and all of that. You're receiving salaries. Are there other allowances you are receiving? Do you want more? How do we negotiate with you? At what time do we pay these things? All of these things, that's why they call it negotiation table, not chair. Like you sit at the table. You know what I mean?
Koku, you be careful today. Today is Wednesday. Oh, okay. Well, that explains. 2,637 missing ECG containers traced to Tema Port. Investigation reveals.
All right.
Containers, so 2,000. It's not even like tomatoes or something.
Yo.
2,000.
Some of them were traced to the place. Some of them have been found in bushes.
Yeah.
We don't know whether some of them have also gone to space. Well, that's the last four. That's the last for the local news. Let's get on to international news now.
Going to Algeria, 3 former presidential candidates sentenced to 10 years in jail.
So, businesswoman Saida Nexar, former minister Belkacem Sahli, and head of veterinary products laboratory Abdul Hakim Hamidi also received a 1 million dinars fine, about some 6,700 euros, right? Okay.
Let's see. Oh, is that who I think it is? South Africa denies watering down black ownership rules for Musk's Starlink.
But why do you think the man will go to US?
All the way to
And of course, he is also a South African.
Yes.
So, Elon Musk Starlink Telecom's business will not be given special dispensation by South Africa to bypass the country's black ownership requirements. Communication Minister Solly Malachi said on Tuesday. That's a big market, actually. If he can go through it, why not? If he can go through it, it'll be good. Why not?
Elon Musk.
Yeah. There's always a way around it. There's always a way around it. When the people benefit, why not? If the product is also good, why not?
New cholera outbreak in South Sudan kills 172 people in a week.
Affected more than 2,500 over the past week, authorities have said. And so most cases were reported in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, in its city of Omdurman, but cholera also detected in other provinces across the country. So, of course, these are the
Ripple effects.
Exactly, the leftovers.
But that reminds me of the Mpox case. As of this morning, it's increased to, I think, 19. So we're advised to watch, our consumption of bush meat. Yeah.
Bush
So
meat.
yes, bush
like
meat.
okay.
A grant.
You take bush meat.
I don't remember the last time I did, but
Okay.
we never know.
Very healthy though. I understand, because
yes.
they don't have fat and all of that.
Yes, but for now, because of the mpox thing. Right. So, South African actor Presley Chweneyagae dies at 40. He doesn't even look close to that.
Yeah.
I think South African people look quite healthy. Maybe because of the way they dance, yes, there's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Like they're just ever young.
I'm even planning to take some dance lessons. So that I could.
Good word. You could have flat tummy.
Yes, and it's very, very manly physique. This is why it's in between. We'll go to the next story.
We better. Nigeria scraps controversial bill making voting mandatory. Well, voting is mandatory. It's a civil stuff, right? But
so, following a backlash from lawyers and rights groups, Nigeria has scrapped a controversial bill that would have made voting mandatory. It had proposed a 6-month jail term, $63 fine for eligible voters who failed to cast their vote. See, I would have agreed to this. A lot of people use a lot of excuses. If we don't start taking responsibility, if you are calling for somebody to take responsibility, especially people who are in government, you want them to take responsibility. Why not you? It is a civic responsibility and duty to exercise your franchise in any, voting period, whatever it is that has been open to you. So if you sit down and be at the line, Frank alone, go and vote for the government, and now place, burden and hardship on the other people, we jail you. I would have agreed to some of these things. You can call me a wicked headmaster for all I care, but I'm saying that some of people most of you, if I ask you whether you voted, you didn't vote.
Did you vote?
Yes, I voted.
Where did you vote at? Where's your voting site? Your constituency? Where is it?
I don't have to announce it on national television. They might follow me there, ask me whether I voted for any MP. Go to the next story.
Don't worry, BT is coming. 4 years is not 30 years. Don't worry at all.
You come and check. Yeah?
Yes, I'll follow you. I'll do news with you. Well. At least 42 killed in weekend attacks in Nigeria's Benue State.
I see.
A local official says.
Right.
42 killed in weekend attacks.
That's it. Africa.
Well, Nigeria's Tinubu seeks $21.5 billion foreign borrowing to boost growth. Why? No, it's to boost growth.
Oh yeah, we understand. We are boosting it. Let's keep boosting it.
What is it?
Nigeria
is in need of. We get to that largest economy and all of that. That's why they need all of that to inject into. I'm trying to give you.
Yeah, the context.
Thank you very much.
As I said, that's that for Wake Up Buzz. As I have said, and of course, Professor PLO Lumumba also agrees that if Nigeria gets it right, Africa will get it right. If Nigeria can get their house sorted, get their act right, Africa will get it right. We are looking up to you, the giants of Africa.
I see.
Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, there's opportunity to delve more into the issues, even as my guests join us on our news review segment. Stay with us.
It's good to be with you. Thank you for tuning in. I have with me some of the latest release of my books that I believe will impact your life. The snare of indifference simply has to do with lukewarmness, how the enemy has succeeded to cast spells on the church, to desensitize God's people, to cause us to slumber, spiritual slumber. These are not the days to slumber. These are days to be awake and alive. and to be on our watch and our guard like never before. Please get this book. It will bless you, to impact your life. It will break the snare and the spell. It will lift the veil of you, and it will illuminate the eyes of your understanding and help you to avoid lukewarmness. Because being lukewarm, it's very dangerous. You are not hot and you are not cold. That's what simply it means by being lukewarm. You are not in and you are not out. It's very dangerous. There is no middle ground anywhere. You are in or out. This book, The Snare of Indifference, Lukewarmness, it shows you the signs of lukewarmness and how to overcome it. Get this book, it will impact your life. And as you do so, God bless you.
The season is up and running. Save! Spain are the champions of the world!
Sports Break on Dominion TV.
I decree today that the power of God that is coming upon your life, no enemy will touch you and go free.
Experience the power. Take dominion.
Say the name of Jesus.
Action Chapel's Dominion Hour. Now, live, this and every Thursday on Dominion TV.
And from today, you will be stronger than any enemy.
Hooray! Dominion TV is now also a digital terrestrial free-to-air channel. This means you can watch us in Ghana from your digital TV without any subscription. Just rescan your channels on your digital TV to access it. How? On your digital TV, press the menu or settings button and choose auto-tuning, auto-search, or the appropriate options to scan your channels and look for Dominion TV. Enjoy some of Africa's best Christian lifestyle programming from Dominion TV.
We go around just making statements that are not even biblical. God reveals to redeem. It's not in the Bible. God reveals so we can walk, so we can enforce the word of God and the scriptures over the enemy's intent. Any hope and expectation the enemy has concerning your family and your loved one, by the eternal blood of Jesus, we override that hope. We override that expectation. Put your hands together and override it.
The Voice of Inspiration, weekdays and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. only on Dominion TV.
Yo fam, it's that time again. Finals. Oh yeah. GOtv, let's go. GOtv, this is too big. The Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and more. Finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. GOtv, love it.
Prayer is a daily necessity for daily triumph.
Africa, we must unite.
We are getting Abrahamic rewards, but we are running away from Abrahamic responsibilities.
Where should Africa sit and stand in this new world order?
Africa has the youngest, fastest growing population. That's a blessing, but it's also a challenge.
Yeah.
Who did God describe as the man after his own heart?
David.
Adam.
My experience, nothing short of amazing.
I never believed I'll be able to do this. Dominion TV's Emerging Leaders program has taught me skills about marketing in a corporate setting.
My name is Danny Glover, and you're watching
Dominion TV.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for your time. We're grateful. I'm tearing here in the studio, and of course you can understand. The two gentlemen are here, and but of course there are people who also love to go to the kitchen. Okay, for Rev, because of his status now, I don't. But the man on my left, obviously, this concerns him. So I'm just sharing this with you, that I know you love to prepare stew and soup, and so you must understand that there's something that is available. Gino tomato mix. It's thick, it's red, and it's rich. Right?
If it's not red, what will it be?
Yeah, and of course it's also enriched with vitamin A, D3, fiber, and zinc, treating you and your future wife to tasty and delicious meals. It gives your meals deep red appeal and, of course, rich texture as well. So you go on and make your next meal with unforgettable Gino tomato mix because Gino truly cares.
I see.
These adverts vetted and approved by FDA. I see. Of course, we're also happy that the Bank Hospital is associated with us here on Wake Up African. So if you need any medical needs at all, wherever you are in the world, here in Ghana, on the continent of Africa, you want to connect to the Bank Hospital. The Bank Hospital is proud to be associated with us. You can call them 0302-739-373, 0302-739-373, or visit their hospital, which is just close to Cantonment, near Nafti, here in Accra, Ghana. All right, let's see you there. My guests have joined me, the forensic scientist, and of course, a leader of the Next Gen here at Action Chapel International, Prayer Cathedral. Next Gen, of course, across the world, and so this is one of their leaders. His name is Pastor Bernard Addy. We call him Pastor Buddy, and of course the clinical engineer as well, who works with Lekma Hospital, and also an assistant pastor at the Action Chapel International, Teshi. Good morning, gentlemen. And thank you very much for your time.
Should we go?
Go to where? We're about to
announce the thing, unless why you must we do
we'll
this?
Get on to the very first story.
Okay.
Okay.
No, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'll be back.
What has happened to you?
I will come back.
Come and do what?
You
come
announce
back.
the thing.
What am I supposed to announce?
Okay, let's do the first story.
Anyways, veteran journalist Nana Kwesi Jampinti passes at 74. Veteran journalist and respected cultural figure Nana Kwesi Jampinti has died in London at the age of 74 after a short battle with cancer. Ooh, so sad. In the late,
Bank Hospital.
Right. Just a brief history. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Nana Jampinti worked in the United Kingdom as deputy editor of the now defunct West Africa magazine, which was based in London. Upon his return to Ghana in 1990s, he joined the Third World Network, heading the communications unit and editing its flagship monthly publication, Africa Agenda. Over the years, he distinguished himself not only as a journalist, but also a media trainer and communications consultant, lending his expertise to a range of corporate, intergovernmental, and non-governmental organizations. These included telecoms giants, MTN, several United Nations agencies, media foundations for West Africa, Star Ghana, and others. Alrighty, so that's that. I don't know if any of you came close to him.
I'm actually looking at his LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Profile now,
right.
And it's very interesting.
Okay.
How people pass on,
right,
and their social media pages are so active.
Okay.
You know, you can still go on there. You know, he was the chairman of the NMC, the National Media Commission.
Yes.
He was also a former chairman, and then he was also a president of the Ghana Association of Writers.
Yes, which of course. That's how come I came close to.
Oh, so you are an international global superstar.
No, that's not true.
You playwright, have flyers and other things. Written plays. Okay, we are big man. We are a very big man, guys.
I'm sorry for getting into
it. But how do you know him? Please tell us.
Well, I just told you through the Ghana Association of Writers, I get to do a lot of work for them in terms of...
For them?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
No, of course. The job I do, for the foremost, is moderating emceeing. So I've emceed a couple of awards, moderated a couple of sessions. But just as I'm doing here, it's
when I
nothing
grow up, I want to be like you. I tell you, we have been role model.
There's nothing absolutely new about what I do here is what I do for them. And so that's how come
I've been doing. They never call me. They have never called me. I've been doing ever since.
Your time will come. Your time will come.
Anyways,
wow.
Yeah.
But this man, when you read his CV, is very impressive.
Right.
And the fact that he lived to 74,
yes,
he's going to be with the Lord.
Right. I mean, he was still looking healthy.
Yes,
as I
very.
Stated, yeah,
very.
Stated earlier.
Very.
Last time I saw him driving to the.
But I remember he died of cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer it was, but I remember during the 31st watch night, the New Year's, Papa called all men who were between the ages of 40 and 70 or so.
Right.
Or all men above 40.
Okay.
And he said, well, he prayed for us.
Right.
And then he said, everybody should go and do a prostate examination.
Okay.
You know, one of the things you know about Papa is that he's very spiritual, and his spirituality makes him wise. You know, so he doesn't play that spiritual game.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I'm spiritual, so you know, go and do a prostate exam. It's one of the commonest cancers in men.
That's right.
You know, it's the number one, and then also for the women, I think it's ovarian cancer. Go and have yourself checked. Make sure you are eating well, you are drinking well, you are sleeping well, and I mean, God will bless you to live to in a good ripe old age of 70. For 74 is not that old, you know, per biblical standards, but I think it's good enough.
Okay.
It's good enough, and our condolences to his family and his children.
All right. I'm just worried I mean, they said 40 to 70, and you went. You're not 40.
Oh no, I was at the premises. I was on the premises.
Okay.
I'll be 18 next year. 17 going on 18. Starlets, black starlets. I'm a black starlets player.
Right.
It's interesting.
Right.
But our condolence to the bereaved.
Yeah.
It's not easy to lose such a veteran. You know, this is a man that have lived a very strong legacy in journalism. So, one, I would say, the Bible admonishes we show God wishes above all things that we prosper and be in good health. So the health factor is very, very important. When you cross certain boundaries of your age, from 40 going, you need to take into consideration some health factors. You know, annual checkup is very, very important, and certain lifestyle that we live, eating late in the night, lack of exercise, and all these are contributing factors to some of these things. So I think he has done his best, but it is up for us that are living to see how best we can also take good care of ourselves, because it's amazing the age limit now, 40, 50. The life expectancy now in Ghana is very bad. So it's a responsibility on the youth to take certain precautions. You can't just live anyhow. You can't just eat anyhow. I think it's the eating culture that is a problem. The way we eat is a problem. So we need to take into considerations all these things, and above all, exercise. It's also very, very important. We need to also, but we say bodily exercise profited what? A little. So we should also, so that some of these things don't come, that you see them, people battling with all sort of sicknesses and end up wasting all their resources before their demise, and that is very pathetic. So.
Anyways, let's continue to celebrate our veterans. A lot of them in the arts. Professor Martinos, good morning wherever you are. Professor Ladeo Son, good morning. Madam Doris Adabasukuonu, Dr. Bomita, all of you.
I won't miss Jampinti, the CEO, the general manager.
Right.
He's also...
yes, right. I'm pabbing, you mean?
Pabbing,
okay,
yes.
right.
Ebenezer, I'm pabbing. Good morning, Mr. Ebenezer, I'm pabbing.
Yes.
You know, some allowances will be cool.
For me.
No, for me. I'm talking for myself, or you can say your own.
Anyways, so majority to lead probe into Covid-19 funds, Japan and PDS deals. The majority caucus in Parliament has vowed to initiate a comprehensive investigation into acts of financial mismanagement and recklessness that allegedly occurred under the former Akufo-Addo administration. Among the key areas identified for scrutiny are the expenditure of COVID-19 funds and a series of sole-source contracts award during the previous government's tenure. And so there you are. There you have it. Japan, COVID-19, and PDS will be. Let me start with you, sir.
Well, it's when some of these things come up, I ask a lot of questions. That why do people wait for that length of time to come out with some of these things? These allegations that we've heard of the COVID-19, that is around 5 years now. The Japan issues and the probe into the PDS issue. These are all corruption issues that the media came up with a lot of allegations, and we have been silenced on it until NDC come in and they are now trying to take up the responsibility of probing into it. Well, I hope they find something, because anytime issues like this come up, people do their homework to make sure that they close the necessary gaps so that evidence that are needed for whatever investigations are not reached. But to me, I think the government should put up measures so that we don't have a party leaving before another party coming in to probe into issues. Because these are issues that came up during the MPP time.
Yeah.
How come there was no investigation? How come there was no better outcome to this? Do we need a majority to come into power now to go into probing some of these issues? Well, there are a lot of issues that are there, but I've to the best of my understanding, I think it's high time when people get into some of these issues. It doesn't matter whoever is in power, whether NDC or MPP, you are vote into public office to protect the purse, to protect our asset. So when individuals are getting into this kind of corruption, like what is fund that have been released for people to use for COVID-19, people divert it, people mismanage it, and nothing came out of it. So we'll see what comes out of it. I doubt, but let's see the outcome of it.
Well, there's a track record for the former president, because while he was even his first term as president, as much as he was criticized for not being as strong as he is this time, he still had some people go to jail under his watch. I'm not really opposed to the next administration punishing the culprits from the other administration, if only they can, so that I know that whatever I'm doing today, my government is not going to be in power forever. So once they walk out, I'm going to be punished. I think it would serve as some deterrence. I am not opposed, actually.
I agree totally. And I think it should even upgrade from that fear of being punished by the next government to just being punished by the institutions, the system that we've built. Because corruption should be so uncomfortable for government and public officials that it's not even appealing anymore. And for the most part of it, we don't have any proper structures to punish corporates. And so we have bold-faced theft, using public office as well. You know, the story about the embassy, our embassy in Washington.
Yes, sir.
This guy has been going at it apparently for years. And he had been questioned, he had been cautioned, notice had been served him, attention had been drawn. But because he had links to people of power, he always got away with it. That is the issue. That's the problem. It doesn't have to take a different government to come into power to stop some of these kinds of things. It should be that we have developed our structures and our systems so much that it doesn't matter what party you belong to. Ghana is the priority. And as for the people who are thinking that this is just, a trivial, a mere witch hunt, or, it's like people are being attacked just for belonging to the opposition party.
Right.
Look, we really don't listen to such things these days. Once there's evidence to support the claims, we'll pursue. It's not as if we are just pursuing these people in a vacuum. If there's evidence to prove that they did what they're accused of doing, I think it should be totally pursued. And talking about the Ejapa, I'm really interested in Ejapa because it borders on our gold. I think we are number 2 in Africa or number 2 in the world. Gold, in terms of gold production or the gold deposit.
I think the deposit, yes, it could be.
But in the world, we're in the top 10.
Yes.
In the world, we're in the top 10, and there are over 160 countries in the world. And if we're in the top 10 producers of gold, this should not be a state at all. And the Japan royalties deal, I don't know. I don't even have much education in financial, physical stuff. But it smacks of illegality. You just can't see that, no, this thing doesn't make sense. But they pushed it through. As for the COVID funds, the less said, the better. The less said, the better. About 2 years after COVID, we're still taking COVID levy in this country.
We are still, though.
We are still taking it?
Yes.
Yeah. No, they've cancelled it.
They've cancelled
No, COVID is not being cancelled.
COVID levy.
Yes. COVID will
No,
be...
it
no,
was
no,
scrapped.
no. It will be, I
Maybe
understand,
July?
September or by the end of the year.
Just fits into my point.
Yeah.
What was the function or the purpose of the COVID levy? Why are we still taking COVID levy? Where are the monies that have been taken? Can we account for them? And the COVID levy was introduced at a time when COVID was, rampaging the entire world. When those monies were taken at that time, it was supposed to be used for relief purposes.
You know, that was actually the thing. People were not really worried about payment.
Right. It was
And what the money were now used for.
Exactly.
That was what people were now angry about.
We will pursue, we support the Parliament of Ghana fully.
Yeah.
They should launch the full-scale, I heard him say full-scale investigation. So it should be full-scale. We are not worried about what anybody will say about there's a witch hunt and, they are going after them. Blah, blah, blah. If you stole money, you will bring it.
Yeah, but of course, Atoforson himself had to even face the rigor.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Was going to court and
yes.
all that. So,
yes.
when it's
And we are heading towards that place. You know, some of the countries that we compare ourselves to in the West, like the US and UK, you hear some of the corruption scandals there. I don't know if you heard about the post office scheme in the UK. Very bad. They are not the models who. Those people in the West, they know how to be corrupt in a very professional way. Right. And they make you look bad, even when you call them out. Yes. So we are not looking at any Western institution. We are looking at the moral principles, ethics. Yes. We are looking at the development of this country. We are not trying to be like America. We are trying to be the best version of Ghana we can possibly be. When Osajifo instituted this country, he had a vision. He was running very fast towards that vision. And there are relics of his genius. At that time, he was thinking about nuclear energy.
At that time,
he was thinking about nuclear energy, hydroelectric power. And we see those things there. We see it over. His dream is not dead. And as long as we are alive, we may not be as loud as certain others, but we will contribute our quota, we will support, they will throw away behind them. They should investigate, they should bring them out, they should prosecute them.
I think it ties into also the picking up of the former Ashanti regional.
I hear he fell sick in custody.
Exactly, he was rushed to whatever. What do you think, just a minute each for, people have said that pick him up devoid of the Rambo style that you have.
What is Rambo style?
Okay, you define it when we come to you very soon. Rambo style, you will define it. Since you want to teach us what Rambo style
What is Rambo style? We haven't said Rambo style. You are saying Rambo style. Is it not Titus Global that said Rambo style? What is Rambo style? Well, so we should go and say, please, you are under arrest, please, respectfully.
Yes.
Then what you say, yes, please.
Yes.
What's that?
You read your rights to you.
Who said they didn't read his rights to him?
No, they just picked him. I think there are videos around where he got out of his car and then the cars, getting them, they whisked him away.
So what should they have done? What should they have done? No, right, what should they have done?
But I think the approach is what is done.
He's asking for what the approach is.
What was the alternative?
The question is that when they invite them to come, and most of the time he was invited to come.
Yoko, we don't invite. Yoko, we don't invite. Economic organized guys. You want to be invited to Yoko? No, you don't come to Yoko. You will be picked up. You are about to do mismanagement and we are coming for you.
They should invite you.
We should pick you up in a certain way. You see, there are certain people like that too. When you misbehave and are correct, you say, no, the correction is
it's too hard.
You must do sandwich correction. Your mouth like this. You go in anyhow. Okay, we beg. We are sorry for the Rambo style. You still go.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
We are sorry, please.
But the lawyer was calm after the interrogation. I think the way he spoke, didn't even, as though they were rough, whatever it is. I think he was just calm. Lawyer Pia could be no, but you find him sometimes agitated. But he wasn't, and all of that.
He says the interrogations are not over.
Yeah, they will definitely. But it just, there's a sharp contrast between the guys who were outside hitting a lot of people, assaulting journalists, versus
those who were inside. And they could tell that.
No, so the people came out and I'm okay. So it's okay, everything is okay. And then the people outside here, we cannot be. So I don't know.
I saw.
What I was worried about is the party faithful that came around to. I don't know what they really came to do, but the issue of wound to me is not now. There have been a lot of allegations of.
There is evidence on the internet. Wound to me sat on his media platform and brought out real gold.
Yeah.
Lined it up and said, then he was adding, sorry, for those who don't understand, should I add more? And he was displaying and flaunting gold that now we are even suspecting to have been illegally mined.
A quick search, ChatGPT, Jonas just sent this to us. The gold producing countries, 2024. ChatGPT said China, 380 metric tons.
Excuse me, what? Producing or refining, please.
It's a top gold producing country.
Producing in what sense?
Producing.
As in like they mine it there?
Right, yes. Russia,
excuse me, it's not accurate.
310 metric tons. Australia, 290 metric tons.
It cannot be accurate.
Canada, 200 metric tons. United States, 160 metric tons. But they say notably Ghana ranks as the top gold producer in Africa, reflecting its...
China.
Yeah. But, okay, so the production should mean what?
When we say the top gold producer, we are talking about how much gold is from your country. How much gold do you mine from there? If you refine it and make products out of it. You see, I may be mistaken because maybe I'm just downplaying China. Maybe they have some really large gold deposits.
Maybe we would have to search more.
No. You see, these are values that come across. And when it comes to China, for instance, it's a country that you can't just play with. These people are serious people. They can do anything at all. So if there's values that they are the top producers of food, I don't think it's something for us to.
Actually, they do have gold.
They do a lot of things. For Chinese, they are.
But you see what they are doing, because they lead, and you see that's my challenge with Ghana, Africa. I can assure you that China is leading this particular charge and other charges with research.
Yeah.
Where they have projected that by so and so time, we would want to be here.
Yeah.
If you ask African countries, what leads what you are doing right now, what it's leading, there's no plan or there's little knowledge about it, even the citizens themselves. Look, I was told by a very reliable source that Chinese across the world, if you find any artifact that is connected with China, you have to report it to the embassy reports it to their country so that they can repatriate it to their country. Artifacts.
Like indigenous artifacts?
Absolutely.
But they've falsificated ours in their museum.
But you see, that's my point. You see, my point is that the intentionality and the consciousness to want to deal with this thing.
Well, we don't have leverage. For the most part of it, we don't have leverage. So, for instance,
we used to.
The Benin idols that are in the British museums and so on. If Nigeria demands those artifacts to be returned, what leverage do they have? Because then the argument is you don't have proper infrastructure to preserve these things. We have preserved these things from the what the Bronze Age and so on and so forth. Then you can come and look at it and it's properly maintained. If we give it to you right now and you send it to Nigeria, how will you maintain it? How will you maintain it? It's not just a matter of we are claiming what is ours, we are claiming what is ours. It's also a matter of we are trying to preserve a piece of history. That's the footage of Chairman Wontumi being picked by Yoko. On his way from CID interrogation, back to back, he went to CID, he was interrogated, and I think him being rushed to the hospital was a logical conclusion for the day, because if you've been sent to CID and been grilled for hours, and then just as you are coming out, People come out from Yoko and then they put you into a van or into a pickup and they say, come and answer for more crimes. I think it will be a bit too much for the man. But, the amount of noise the man has made in Ghana.
Charlie, I chanced on pieces of video they put together and the utterances.
Very horrible.
I didn't even see that because I don't follow him. I just saw it speaking about the vice president, the current vice president, and the way and manner,
the terminologies,
the things, her appearance. He
says it's richer than John Mahama.
No, I don't even care about those ones, but the way he went
about it,
my world. I said, wow.
That is why we can't. That's the video of him displaying the gold. Yes, that's it. That's a video of him raw gold, though. And they will put it on the table. You see different gold, proper gold. This is pure gold.
Anyways, I mean, for me, I just want us to leave this. We're even talking about very
progressive things.
Exactly, in terms of how we can leverage what we have. Because I was also told, just as you were saying, I'm told that our archives from back in the day, from Kwame Nkrumah days, film in terms of photos and all of that, is kept in the United Kingdom.
I think there was a time some artifacts were brought from.
Yeah, no, this one is not even artifact, memories.
Memories, okay.
Memories. Every other thing that happened around Ghana, we're paying rent somewhere in the United Kingdom.
Those ones I think we can easily get back. But again, if you look at our museum structure, how things work, for me, I think that sometimes I'm even on the side of them keeping it there because they are very meticulous about preserving history. Most of the things we know, even about our own history, is because of them, because they documented it. We have heavily relied traditionally on oral tradition, socialization, we pass on stories. But you see, when you write it down, when you write something down when it happens now, it's fresher in your memory, the details are more accurate. And we didn't have that back then. They did it for us.
That's right.
Even our Tree Bible, our Ewe Bible, it was translated by them, you see. And that has been the problem. We have caught up in so many ways.
Right.
But to develop the infrastructure to be able to hold and maintain some of these things is the issue.
Yeah, because if we don't as well, for me, if we don't, and it's in their hands, you see, it's of national security concern.
Exactly.
Identity issues are national security concerns.
Yes.
The fact that somebody does not know himself, the person becomes harmful. So if we keep our memories and all of these things in their hands and they can then use it, this is where they came from.
Right.
They can do projections. Look, they can sit down, research on us, and know this is where we are going to go even in 10 years based on the memories they have. I think that's
it's worrying.
It's a problem. It's a problem because even when you read the church history about the Bible, you know, how the canonization of the Bible came. These were the challenges. That's why there are a lot of diversities even in the church now.
Right.
You have the Catholic having some documentations that the Christendom doesn't want to accept, and those variations. Because over the years there have been a progression of keeping records.
Yes.
For instance, if I should ask your family history, this is just your father tell you something that. This used to be your grandfather. This used to be your great-grandfather.
It should be written.
There is no written document about histories of people. So this information, you see, the whites are very meticulous. Anytime they come, you see them having something.
Even dance. Yes. They write dance. We call it lab annotation.
Yeah.
So they have a way. So your bobobo or your aduano,
can even give you the
it was
history
learnt just by some. So by the time you are passing it down, it could be distorted.
Exactly.
But they've written it down, how it was done. They've written it down so they can tell you how they even learn how to play the drums.
Yes.
It's written down. So somebody can
somebody can pick it up, and with the accurate knowledge, you just And the Egyptians did this, with their hieroglyphics and all of those kinds of things. And we have put a lot of power into the hand of these Western guys. Because when they document our history for us, they can change any part.
That's my point exactly.
they can change any parts they want. You know, when the black Americans and when they come to Ghana and they go to the Omina Castle and Cape Coast Castle, they cry because, like you said, the identity of a person determines a whole lot.
Exactly.
If you don't know where you come from, you think you belong somewhere else, it affects the way you grow, the way you develop, and so on. So I think we should, talking about the gold, all this stem from
absolutely.
The gold has stabilized our currency in a very interesting way because of the gold board initiatives and so on. And if we don't start thinking exports, refining our own gold, having control over the exports and exporting more than we import, this depreciation of the dollar we see and appreciation of the cedi we see is going to be a flash in a pan. And we've been warned by Dr. Vladimir Nchidanso, yes.
That word.
He says...
But it's the same thing. So I have a challenge with...
Dr. Vlad?
No, Pastor Badi.
Yeah. Oh.
Same thing Fitch said. Spoke to the issues of the city.
Don't come and talk about our things. We have our own experts. We have our own experts.
As far as I'm concerned,
yes.
I have to check his credentials again.
Yeah. Dr. Vlad?
Yes. Is a
Institute of... No. He's a senior fellow of the Institute of Economic Affairs.
Exactly.
Senior fellow.
Exactly.
Senior.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you see, my point is the way he spoke.
Yes. He was speaking from a point. You see, two people can say the same exact thing.
Yes.
But mostly it is the motive that counts. You know, Zachariah in the Bible said, "Oh, how can these things be? Seeing that I'm an old man," the angel said, "You're a problem." Okay. You're a problem. This is the last time you will speak until the baby is born.
So
Mary said the same thing. How can these things be? Gabriel, the same Gabriel said, if I may explain to you, the power of the Holy Ghost will come upon you. What's the difference? They said the same thing. Mostly it's the heart. It's not the presentation. You Fitch, you are not telling us out of a standpoint of trying to protect our economy. What interest do you have in our economy? If we do well now, how do you benefit?
Okay.
Dr. Vlad is part of the thing. He's a senior fellow of our economic academy. So when he says the same thing as Fitch says, he's not saying it from the same standpoint. He's saying it that we are happy about this thing, but we've seen it before. He said in first time, one cedi was more than the dollar. I even thought it was equal. It was more.
You can have that conversation. That's another conversation.
Yes, he said it was
and that's
more.
That's why I went away $1 to one cedi was not the case. But
yes,
we can have that. I mean, I've had
one cedi was what cents?
In real value,
I think it was 98 cents or so.
Yes.
Well, in real value, you can argue that.
We could do that.
No, aside the redenomination, there was also appreciation. It wasn't just a matter of redenomination and taking zeros away.
Do you know the issue? And I mean, we can finalize on this. The issue. As much as you're saying to tease as a former president where he says, "Sikam pedide," money does not like noise. When the Bank of Ghana comes out to and exudes, the governor exudes some positive outlook.
Oh, yes.
And you think that you are an IEA director, and you speak more, a senior fellow,
right?
Anybody who hears this, that's my point. If Fitch does it, why would you also do it?
Right.
There's a way you say it.
That it doesn't.
Did you hear him?
Yes.
I wish we could play.
Yes.
So direct and smacks of
right.
It's going to go down.
Yes.
No, you don't even want to. It will go down like a prophetic. Go and watch the thing again.
I listened to it about once or twice.
So I'm saying that. Can we just say these things? You hear Professor Bob King say the same thing.
Yes.
But say, let's be cautious about it so that we are able. This is what governor can do. This is what the Bank of Ghana can do. Our fiscals must discipline. But he's saying, it will go down by December. It will go down. Watch it. I pray we whatever. So that's my point. That don't speak the way he spoke. He even spoke worse.
Right.
I can assure you.
And again, he's a look. We are not getting this thing by prayer.
Exactly the point. And that's why my point.
We are doing rituals in the background. The city is going up. Those who have gone to do Bepremu, we've gone to marry last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We would use 600 cities for our wedding to be very glorious.
That's it. I support. But no, you actually. 2 jailed 14 years for defilement in disturbing money charm. The Justice and Circuit Court has sentenced 2 men to 7 years imprisonment each for defilement of a 15-year-old girl in a case that exposes alarming trends in sexual violence and exploitation in Ghana's rural communities. The judge delivered the verdict on May 23rd, 2025, after finding the 2 men guilty of the crime against the minor. The convicts, Joseph Boating alias Efrie or Small Pepe, 37, and Hashiru Zulkarneni alias Skedem, 27, was arrested by police in KJ Kijebi for abetment of defilement and defilement, respectively, at the hideout in Kijebi in May 22nd, 2025. This was after the police received a report on the same day that Joseph Boateng accosted a 15-year-old girl who was returning home after fetching water. The suspect promised to charm 2,000 Ghana cedis for her. Thereafter, the suspect lured the victim to his house at KGB Cocoa Market and made the suspect, Hashiru Zulkarnaini, a driver, have sexual intercourse with her under the pretext of using Hashiru Zulkarnaini's sperm for the charm.
Wait, Okoku, if it was sperm he needed,
yes,
did they have to defile?
But the
girl also was.
It's a means to an end. The two were arranged.
Do sperm banks supply women for such activity?
What would I do? To him, that's the means. You see, it comes back to, oh my world, what world are we building? Let me start with breakfast.
Anytime issues like this come in the public domain, it's sad when you hear some of these issues, you know. And concerning the age of the individuals involved, it still tells you they are still youth, you know. People below 20 years and the desire to make money, because the issue is that they want to create a money charm for the lady, 2,000 Ghana cedis. And she also,
2,000 Ghana.
Yeah, so
something that Koku uses for lunch.
And she also followed and she ended up being defiled, you know. It's sad because the other day I think I was passing just East Legon here and I saw some ex-convict. They were very young. You could tell from their age that they are in their early 20, and they were sweeping and they came around begging for alms. And I was asking myself, look at these young guys. This could be very productive individuals who could have played. Who knows what they could have been in the future? But what happened? It's some of these things that they do. And I always say that the quest to become very rich
in a short time,
in a very short time,
without process,
by the youth is a problem. You see, anytime we hear issues like this, it's like they also just want to make it. They also feel as if, okay, if I'm able to do this, I can make it. And I think there must be a lot of public educations and the way at which, how do I call it, social media is advertising wealth in the face of the youth is becoming a problem. Because you see some of these social icons and all that they do is, recently I was watching some documentary of Ajagruja and whoever, and they were all trying to show, I have this car, I have this car, I have this car. And people look at it and they feel that
they are left behind.
They are left behind. Because if, for instance, I see a young man, 30 years, and he has fleet of cars in his house, you know, it creates a lot of mindset. And so anybody who lure them that, oh, bring sperm and I'll get you money, they also get involved. So I think it's high time, massive education.
What we hear, what we see.
But I'm quite disappointed in the sentence.
14 years.
I think I said that and I agree with you. I agree with you.
14 years. I mean, let's match the age. I mean, I think we should make it a law that if the person is below 10 years and you defile the person,
you add 1 0.
Either we add 1 0, multiply by 2.
Okay.
And if the person is above 10 years, we match it.
That's right.
You defile a 15-year-old, you go in for 15. You defile a 14-year-old.
No, even that one. Even that one. No. If you defile a 1 year old, you go 1.
Oh no, you what?
Or you are talking of the multiplication.
You defile a 1 year old.
There are people who do these things. And I'm saying that it has to come from a certain mental point, right? Or just again, I'm coming back. My sound as a cliche, but if you know yourself, know what you want and all of that, you will not find this. That's why we need to look. We are sitting on a time bomb. There are arms, there are arms with people. People's minds are not as right as we see them walking around. People have mental issues, and we are showing them also things. We are showing them things, and that's why the Archbishop wants to use this medium. And if other people can replicate it, that look, there is a process. All of us have to wake up and come to work, do something so that we can get paid. You cannot just have it.
Exactly. You know, the Archbishop on Sunday was telling us that he has 43 siblings. 43.
43 of them.
43.
Ouch.
Yes.
Sounds
36 from his father's side and 7 from the mother's side. There are 43.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Exactly. You know, and he has been able to stand out because he took, and he was telling us on Sunday about taking the Bible serious and taking life principles serious. He said there are certain things that are principles in life. There are things that are givings in life. And you have to pay attention to these things. If you decide to cut corners, even if you don't reap the consequence on this earth, there's always a consequence to be. There's no win in this. There's no way you win in this. Right. And those of us who God has blessed with some influencer status, Kokulumo and Co. Who will much rather use their influence to tell us about latest iPhones, tell us about latest cars, Kokuya your squad, telling us about, you know, bleaching creams, you know, body enhancement. We beg you. We really beg you. Please, let's advertise property. Let's use the influence from property.
I hear you.
Let's use the influence from property.
I hear you.
So that we can stop. It's a menace.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
and you'll find that these people probably go to church.
Yeah, they do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They do.
You know, so let's take up the responsibility again. It goes back to the family system.
It does.
We raise our kids right. We make sure that if you don't have, you work for it. If you don't have, you work for it. Parents will not always be around. So if you are giving your children stuff, don't just give them education. Again, Papa said it on Sunday. He said, don't just give your children Western education.
It's dangerous.
Give them soft skills. Give them values, principles. Don't steal.
There was a statement I read yesterday that there's a difference between providing and parenting.
Most of us are just providing.
Right?
We're not.
You are just providing for the children, but you are not really parenting them.
That's right.
So it's a problem.
That's true.
So it has come to the domain that a lot of parents now become providers. You pay fees, you give chop money, you provide whatever it is, but the real act of parenting, having fellowship with the children, telling them morals, status, what to do, as we are not doing it. So it's a problem, and that I think we all have to.
Yeah. Anyways, it's been a lovely, lovely morning, and that's what we do. And we want to say a very big thank you to all of you for sacrificing as always. Our guests always sacrifice to come through, to be a blessing unto you. And so make sure we pray for them all the time. Most of them scheduled to come from Monday through till Friday, and so we're grateful. Thank you very much. Pastor Badi is a leader of Next Gen. Of course, a forensic scientist with the Ghana Armed Forces. Reverend Xavier Demoji is a clinical engineer, and of course, an assistant pastor with the Action Chapel International. There's a lot to share with you. Teshi, of course. Teshi. There's a lot to share with you. There's more coming through. Remember, there are big conversations also, so you want to stay with us. We'll be right back.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa Morning Show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show.
It's time for the main event. This is incredible. He has written it, and the dream lives on. I cannot believe it.
Stay connected to DStv this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
Thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of one of the books I have released, among the many others that I believe will impact your life and will bless you. It's very, very critical in the times we live in for us to appreciate and understand process. The difference between the first Adam and the last Adam was process. The first Adam was made overnight. He didn't go through process. The last Adam went through process and learned obedience through the many things he suffered by process. When you don't go through process, you do not appreciate and know the value of a thing. The value of gold has everything to do with the process it went through before it was brought out. And if you look at the difference between King Saul and David, Saul was made king overnight. David went through process from the first anointing to the third anointing was 17 years. The first anointing was before his brethren, second anointing before Judah, third anointing before all of Israel. Process. And that gave him longevity. And everything about life is about process. When you don't go through process, you have no understanding and value of a thing and what you have. So it's very, very important for you to get this book. Stop fighting the process. Go through the process. You will come out at the other side a better person, a better individual. People who don't go through process and come into prominence are disaster. Money without purpose is disaster. Power without purpose is disaster. And so get understanding. This book, Don't Fight the Process. Go through the process will cause you to have the keys that are necessary to guarantee your longevity. God bless you.
Raise your voice and shout, come on.
No turning back, okay? We're not going back. It's Jesus today, forever. Right, away from that discussion with Koku and his guest, let's get ready for tech and trends. But before then, let's have some woman-to-woman conversation, right? Girl, I know that you love to be in the kitchen, and I know that you love your soups and stews and all the, skirmishes that you do in the kitchen to be healthy, to be rich, and also added with some flavor and some nice color. So I introduce to you Gino tomato mix is red, it's rich, and it's so delicious and nutritious. I am talking about vitamin A, D3, fiber, zinc. Look, that is what gives your family some delicious meals, okay? So you want to get a Gino tomato mix. It's really, really tasty. It helps with that Ghanaian jollof that you have been dreaming about, okay? So just get Gino tomato mix. That's like halfway gone, okay? And you can get that in any shop, any supermarket. Just walk in, get Gino tomato mix, and enjoy some great meals. And this advert is supported by, approved by FDA, right? And also thanks to the Bank Hospital for supporting the morning show. It's time for us again to text and trends, what's happening in the world of technology, and also trending stuff on social media. And Steffi B is ready to take us away. Hi, Steffi B, take us away.
This is Tech and Trends with your smooth chauffeur, Stephanie B, on the segment that gives you the best entertainment experience. Let's circulate around Africa, and when we come back, we'll knock on the doors of tech. We are back where it all started on Tech and Trends, particularly Wake Up Africa, where we'll be exploring so much in the world of tech. And I would like to thank you all for coming along with me on the Microsoft 365 journey, where we learned a lot. And on today's episode of Tech, we will be exploring Web 3.0 and why it's important to us to know what Web 3.0 is about. It has to do with content, it has to do with data, owning your own data, and actually selling your own data without any third parties or any central people involved. And so I'm sure this upcoming video will help you understand what Web 3.0 is and why you have to know about Web 3.0. So let's learn more.
I did a quick Google search, what is Web 3.0? In this video, we are going to explain what Web 3.0 is, how cryptocurrency ideas tie into the evolution of our current internet, and what it means for you as a user. I'm going to give you a rough definition of what the internet says Web 1.0 is, Web 2.0 is, and then I will explain this new phenomenon that a lot of people are calling Web 3.0. Let's start with 1.0. Between the years of 1991 and 2004, the internet was mostly a bunch of static pages, meaning that whenever you loaded them, they just showed some stuff and that was it. Some called it read-only. There wasn't any logging in or interacting with post or reviewing analytics. Most of the early internet was even profitable by ads. It was mostly just like one big Wikipedia or all hyperlinked together. Now, of course, with time, we slowly made improvements and things like Flash and JavaScript added many different features. However, during this time, the users of the internet were consumers. They went to the internet to consume information. Next, we have Web 2.0. Around 2004 until now, during this time, the web evolved a lot, but one of the biggest changes was the interactivity of the internet. This means that not only did we get information from pages, but the web pages started getting information from us. As we viewed Facebook and YouTube and performed Google searches, decentralized companies started collecting data about us so that they could serve us better content, which in turn will make us stay on their websites longer. This meant more money for them, but eventually they realized they could package up all the data they had collected on us and sell it to advertisers. Web 2.0 is the age of targeted advertising and the lack of privacy for its users. Now, to be fair, we willingly gave up this privacy tool for cool apps like Facebook and Twitter. In Web 2.0, me and you could both view Facebook.com and see two very different news feeds because the page depended on who was viewing it. Next up is Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is the next evolution of the internet, probably utilizing blockchain technology and the tools of decentralization. In Web 2.0, you were the product as you were browsing social networks. But in Web 3.0, some believe that you will be the owner of your content, the stuff that you post online. Now, this is kind of true, so if you want to post to stay up, it will stay up. But if you want to take it down, they say in Web 3.0, you cannot control that because, as we all know, usually, when something is on the internet, it's always on the internet. Odyssey is a blockchain alternative to YouTube where videos can be posted and creators can earn library tokens. which are basically a reward for enticing viewers to watch their videos. The thing about Odyssey though is that they can't really stop a video from being posted. If someone uploads it and someone else in the network wants to share it, they technically download that video and then let others watch that video and download it as well, kind of like a big torrent network. Your post couldn't get taken down because your post wouldn't just be one of the Facebook servers. It would theoretically be on thousands of computers around the world, ensuring that the blockchain social network you're on is not attacked or censored. Theoretically, this means there will be a lot of illegal and hateful things posted, but it will be in the name of freedom, of which the users of the network could probably decide on a system to reduce that harmful content. In Web 3.0, experts say that we will reach the point of the internet where every company is run by a decentralized group called DAO, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. DAOs mean that there are no CEOs or presidents to impress. Those with the most tokens get to vote on how the company changes, not limited by a government or some family tradition. In Web 3.0, there will be no censorship of social networks like Facebook or Twitter. One controlling authority cannot shut it down. Lastly, one of the biggest things in Web 3.0 is that your digital identity is not 100% connected to your real-world identity. This means I can view pages, download things, make purchases, and any other activity on the internet without being traced to the real me.
I'm sure you'd agree with me that's a lot of interesting stuff and so much to unpack for the Web 3.0 video. Now that does it for tech today on Tech and Trends, but there's a lot in the world of music. And first off, we'll be starting with some interesting new releases that are yet to be released and some that have already been released. And first, we'll be starting with Mau by Bethel Revival Choir featuring Dave the Music Box. Is Millicent Yankee featuring Scott Evans, and they titled this Overdue. This is a sound that was released just a few days ago, so we can enjoy what the song is all about.
Overdue, just to the do from my life. Your word is for now. Your word has the power. My blessings ran over. My blessings ran over. I've got many reasons to praise, many reasons to say that God remains the same, and He will never change. Protect me all of my days, shield me from all the shame, cover me with your grace. Jehovah, overdue, you do the do for my life. Your word is final, your word has the power. My blessings run over, my blessings run over.
Having to do with the masterpiece that was recently released titled No Turning Back, many people have come out with different renditions on the song No Turning Back. Some people have creative masterpiece with regards to the sound. So let's check out some videos that come in the form of dance, in the form of creativity, so much more we can appreciate. So here are some videos to appreciate what the song No Turning Back has for us.
I can never turn back. It's already too late. It won't make sense. Where am I going to? It's already too late. I've already come too far. It's already too late. We live on the world. We will spend the billions. We'll spend the billions. We will spend for Jesus. We'll spend for Jesus. We will shift the culture. I can never turn back. It's already too late. It won't make sense. Where am I going to? oh. I've already come too far. It's already too late, oh.
Jesus, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. Totally
I can never turn back, oh. It's already too late, oh. It won't make sense, oh. Where am I going to? It's already too late, oh. I've already come too far. It's already too late, oh. We won the war. We will spend the billions. We'll spend the billions. We will spend for Jesus. We'll spend for Jesus. We will shift the culture. We will heal the sick. We will raise the dead. Transform the nation. See, we hear well done. We will won the war.
And this generation is always top-notch with their level of creativity, no doubt about that. But there's this particular last video I want you guys to know or to see, and it has to still tie into the no turning back trend. And this is a message a lady weaved into the whole trend thing. Let's check it out.
I've decided to follow Jesus is a reminder that love is a decision.
It's already too late.
Obedience is a decision. Christianity is not on subscription basis. It's not on monthly, annual, when you feel like it, when you vibe to the Lord, when you need the Lord. No, we don't do that here. Loving God is an eternal decision, and it's a beautiful time to join the movement and to join the humans who are conscious of the presence, the power, and the love of God. Come closer. Let God pamper you now. What's going on? Come. Let God pamper you. Stop acting like a vagabond or hooligan. No, come, my darling. Let God pamper you. Have you tasted the love of God? Once you know God, you will not want to know anybody else. So it's not a mix and match. It's not a let's use God and add some other condiments or recipes. No, God is enough. And we have decided to follow Jesus. Come and join us. Come, my darling, come and join us.
Now, those were amazing videos and creativity people brought out with regards to the no turning back trend. And I'm sure you can also do yours and also tag us along on our social media, across our social media platforms actually. And on that note, we wrap up with tech and trends, but there's an upcoming event for BEC students. And this is a flyer and giving us details about the event, so you can look forward to it. The first edition is coming up this Friday, so it's something all BC students should look forward to. Now, time has clocked and Tech and Trends is over with me, your girl, Stephanie B. Thanks for making time with us. Big shouts to Geneva's Closet once again for always putting me on, and to my wonderful production team holding me back down here. And with love, I wish you a wonderful day, and as always, it's time for the wonderful personalities on the other side to do their thing. It's all love.
The wonderful personalities on the other side. Thank you very much, FB. Smooth pilots, right? Yeah, if I remember that. Well, that's it for Tech and Trends. I like the 3.0 version of Word because, I mean, it kind of like separates me from a lot of things that I do. So yes, you should get on that trend and get your, Word working for you. Time for us to know what's happening on the market fronts. There is a marketplace language. I can't say that enough. I can't, stress that enough. I know that we're Christians. I know that we love the Lord. I know that, stuff are going to work for us. The Bible says that all things work together for good, them that love the Lord. But also, there is a language that you need to speak because there are certain rooms that actually speak on your behalf. There's the boardroom, and then there's also the bedroom. But today we want to know the boardroom language. We want to know what's happening in the world of business so that you as a Christian, you can fit in and stand out. And the financial evangelist is ready with Kingdom Finance series. If you're ready, Mr. Semenu, I am ready for you. Take us away.
You are welcome to today's episode of the Kingdom Finance series on Wake Up Africa on Dominion Television. My name is Nelson Semanu, popularly known as the Financial Evangelist. And I want to thank you so much for making time every Wednesday to watch this important program on Dominion Television, the Kingdom Finance series. And I believe that you've been learning some great lessons that has impacted your career, your business, and your finances as well. Anyway, so today I'm going to begin a new series which I titled, Why a Personal Savings Culture Matters. Why I believe that a personal savings culture matters. By way of introduction, probably you may have had an experience in the past where probably either a family member or somebody very close to you had an emergency, and because of the relationship you had with them, you were called upon to assist. And maybe you were able, or maybe you were not able to assist them, and you wished you could have been in a position where you could offer some financial assistance to them. Globally, people on an individual level go through situations that demand that they cough up some amount of money to address unexpected situations that come their way. Oftentimes, many people are not able to do that. What's the reason is simply because of a poor savings culture. Now, I want you to understand that the bedrock, the foundation for wealth and riches is a strong culture of savings. In other words, if you have a problem of putting small money aside weekly or on a monthly basis, you can have a challenge to that great dream of becoming financially independent. So in case you are wondering, why is Nelson talking about savings culture? I mean, I have enough money, I'm okay for the next 20 years, for the next 5 years, I don't have any money problem. I have enough businesses, I have enough investment and things. The Bible says money has wings and flies away. So you can be rich today, tomorrow you can be poor. You can be poor today, tomorrow you can be rich. When it comes to money, no situation is permanent. So it's important that once a while we remind ourselves of what it means to regularly be putting something aside against the rainy day. So that is why I'm starting this series of why a personal savings culture matters. As we usually do, the financial evangelist, I do my things with the scripture. So we're going to Genesis chapter 41. I'm going to read from verse 34 and 35. And I'm just using that scripture to lay a foundation for what I call a savings culture. You know, the interesting thing about the Bible is that virtually every aspect of our life, the Bible covers it perfectly. Yes, so savings began in the Bible. And you will get to know that that is a foundation for most economies today. So in Genesis chapter 41 from verse 34, it says, let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land and take up the fifth part of the land. The fifth part, that's 20% in Egypt, in the 7 plenteous years. 35, and let them gather all the food for those years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. 36, and that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. Anyway, that's a popular scripture. Most of us learn about this in the Sunday school. Pharaoh had a dream, 7 years of famine, 7 years of plenty. By revelation, Joseph was able to profess solution to what could be done for the first 7 years and then the latter part of the second 7 years. The instruction was to save at least 20% out of all the plenty harvest they were going to get in the first 7 years. Remember, how they handled the first 7 years was going to determine how life will be in the second 7 years. So this is what they did. They took a fifth out of all the produce in the first 7 years and they stored them. So in the second 7 years, Egypt, that was at the center of world economy at the time, was able to supply grains and other stuff to the rest of the world. The question is, what if Pharaoh hadn't gotten an interpretation to the dream and didn't also save for the future? It would have been a very miserable life. So this is where most economies, Japan, Germany, US, India, China, this is the scripture on which they build their economies. So for those who have studied some amount of economics, you realize there is something we call the gross international reserves. The gross international reserves is simply money put aside by every country so that in case of economic shocks and unexpected occurrences in the economy, they will be able to rely on those money that they put aside to be able to address the situation. Bringing it home, Ghana roughly has about 10 million US dollars of gross international reserves. Of course, this is made up of gold and other foreign currencies and other items that is captured in the reserve. In other words, if Ghana gets into a very tough situation, there is some savings that Ghana has put aside to be able to rely on to address the situation. Japan has roughly about $1 trillion. China has about 3. In fact, China is the leader of the world when it comes to that, about $3 trillion. That means that China is well prepared than any other country in the world in case of any economic emergency to be able to handle the situation very well. So if countries are saving, it means that individuals must do same. And there are also institutions that put certain amount of money aside. Entrepreneurs, they save money so that during the difficult times, they will be in a position to be able to take care of things. So having seen the importance of savings on the global level, on the corporate level, and on the individual level, the question now is, what are the practical benefits of putting money aside? Now, before I go into that, I still want to emphasize that there are some key principles that God wants us to consider when it comes to a savings culture. Now, the first thing is that God does not expect us to live our lives by miracles. Yes, I mean that, by miracles. You may say, Nelson, why? We are believers who believe God, who walk by faith. Yes, that is very true. But God is a God of principles. God only does miracles as and when the need arises. And if you study your Bible very well, you will agree with me on that. God does not expect us to wake up every day expecting miracles to happen. And that's the reason why God created a digestive system. Can you imagine Nelson taking some kenke, with pakposhito, and some nice fried fish? Then I now have to spend time to pray, oh God, let the esophagus respond. Let the small intestine also respond. Let some secretions be released from the stomach, gastric acid, so that they can mix with the food and all that, so that it will digest and nothing will happen to me. I don't do that. I just eat and I even forget that there's a digestive system until the food is totally broken down and I get whatever I need from it. So God has a system in place. And one of those systems is a savings culture. So if you're watching me and you are a believer, you always have to be on rampage when you have to pay your rent, or you have to pay your school fees. When a family member is at the hospital, you have to pick phones and be calling people and be begging for 2,000 cedis and be begging for 500 cedis, be begging for 300 cedis. That is not God's will for your life. God wants you to put systems in place so that you can always have money as and when the need arises to be able to take care of your emergencies. Now, the other principle also I want you to consider is the fact that it is not enough to make money. Most importantly, you must be able to save money. Anybody can make money. People do sports betting and get huge sums of money. Within 6 months, everything is gone. People work, they are paid salaries every month. For some of those people, if they are sacked from work today, they will need a miracle to survive, because for working for 5 years of their lives, they have not been able to put any money aside. Probably the last principle I want to talk about is the fact that God does not expect us to be bothering him with our daily bread. He has promised that he will give us our daily bread. But the provision of our daily bread is connected and linked to the principle of work and diligence that can ensure that we have enough to be able to live on. So those are the main principles I want to share with you. Now, having done that, let me now move on to the benefit, the practical benefit of having a savings culture. Don't forget the principle, at least 20%, from Genesis chapter 41, 34 to 36. So out of your salary that you get every month, out of the business that comes your way, out of the contract you get, 20% must be put aside for savings. If you don't do that, you can get into some trouble. The first thing I want to talk about is anxiety. A regular savings culture is important because financial pressure can give you anxiety. You can wake up in the morning and how to just smile can become a very serious problem because that day there is no money anywhere. Husband has no money anywhere. Wife has no money anywhere. The whole house is just dry. And later you get to know that all the fighting sometimes between husband and wife is simply because there is no money in the house. So money has a way of causing anxiety. And if you are aware, or if you should be aware, anxiety can be connected and linked to a whole number of diseases, especially cardiovascular diseases. Let me make it simple so I don't speak big English. When you don't have money, you can get high blood pressure. And high blood pressure, if it is not managed well, you can die before your time. It doesn't matter how anointed you are. You can be a bishop, you can be a pastor, you can be a church member, you can be a chorister. If you don't address your money problems and you are always under pressure because of money, you can get all kinds of diseases and sicknesses and you can die from it. So anxiety is one of the things you must fight in life, and you address it by ensuring that you always have money. Majority of our worries in life is about money. If you disagree with me, you can reach out to me after the show. Most of our problems and worries in life has to do with money. And that is why, I want to talk about savings, a savings culture for the next 4 weeks. Regular savings culture can prevent you from your life being under anxiety. Number 2, if you're able to put a little money aside. Proverbs 13 verse 11, the Bible says that wealth gotten by evil means shall be diminished, but he that gathers by little shall greatly increase. The expectation of God is that you gather little by little. God's expectation is that you put a little aside every month, every week, and of course, every day. Now, every one of us have dreams and ambitions. And the interesting thing is that sometimes what you consider as a very great dream and vision God has given you, when you talk to other people to come and support your dream, they don't consider it as anything important. Am I not right? So the question now is, if you have to depend on people before you release your album, because God has given you a voice to the nations. If you have to depend on people to finance your dream because God has given you a gift of writing, then your destiny will be hanging in the hands of people. But you've got to take your destiny into your own hands by saving money so you can pursue that dream. You want to do your master's degree, you want to do a PhD. How much money are you saving towards that dream? Somebody says, oh, Nelson, I don't need to worry. My uncle has promised me, my sister has promised me. All of them, they have mentioned certain amount that they used to support me. People always promise and fail. It's not only politicians who promise and fail. So you've got to take your destiny into your own hands. Irrespective of the amount of money you are getting, be putting something aside towards that dream and vision. You have a business, you've had prophecies of the business you need to start, the real estate business, the manufacturing business, building a school. The prophecies are good, but take that step of putting something aside every day, every week, every month. Because you are responsible for fulfilling and financing your own dream. You cannot expect others to finance your dream for you. The next thing I want to talk about is emergencies. Emergencies. Now, emergencies are practically things that happen to us on a short-term basis. For example, if you get sick, if your family member gets sick, if somebody close to you gets sick, that's an emergency. Somebody's involved in an accident, the person has to be taken to the hospital, that's an emergency. Your company has to sort out some financial obligations unexpectedly, that's an emergency. If you are not financially prepared, it's going to be very difficult to be able to meet some of these emergencies that come your way. The only way you can address this is for you to be able to put some regular savings aside, so that in situations like this, you can be able to do something about it. Losing your job can be a matter of emergency that will need your immediate response. What about if you lose your job and you don't have much money to spend on, at least for the next 6 months? How are you going to handle the situation? So, ladies and gentlemen, I've just brought you the episode 1 of why a personal savings, a regular personal savings culture matters so much. I gave you an introduction. I spoke about gross international reserves that is done by nations in the world. I also spoke about the need that there are some basic principles God wants us to live by. And not just every day live by miracle, expecting God and trusting God. No. God wants us to live our lives a bit more organized. Then I've just given you about 3 benefits of a regular savings culture. In my next episode, I'm going to talk about the rest. God bless you so much, and thank you for making time with me on this show.
Well, nothing ever really goes wrong with putting money aside. What is that dream? What's that vision? Want to go to Harvard sometime? Well, now even international students are not allowed in those places. But you can always have a good education, save towards it. You can always have a good company, save towards it. Start to put something aside, because your future deserves it, and you deserve it too. Thank you so much, the financial evangelist, for keeping us informed, on what it means to actually put something aside. So from today, get a small box, put some stuff inside, and see how much you accrue by the end of the week. If that means anything to you, then you know how much you would make at the end of the month, and imagine how much you make by the end of the year. That's a good one to try out. Right now, it's time for us to get into a very important conversation. Tobacco. Do you consume tobacco large quantities? Do you know whether the things that you consume or the things that you're exposed to have a certain amount of tobacco? Is it good for your health? Do you know whether there are authorities that are supposed to regulate these products? Let's get into those conversations after this break.
It's good to be with you, and thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the 5 series of some of my books that have been released. The Bible said, you err because you know not the scriptures. There is something about having understanding through the study of the books. This book, Beyond the Valley, that deals with mastering of faith, the mastering of the test of love and the test of character and the test of faith, I believe, will impact your life. So many people struggle at the place of the valley, at the valley. But the valley is not a bad place to be. Whenever you find your place at the valley, realize that the next place after the valley is your journey to the top of the mountain. There is no way you can climb a hill or a mountain in life without going through the valley. So when you find yourself right at the place of a valley, it's an indication that you are bound to begin your journey of climbing the mountain or the hill. And so never be afraid when you find yourself in the valley. Every now and then, before you climb a mountain, you will go through a valley. And the valley is part of the process that we all have to go through before we get to the top of the mountain. And so if you are in a valley in your life right now, don't be afraid, don't be despaired. For the prophet said the other day, he said, my enemy, rejoice not over me, for when I fall, I will rise again. Most times when you are down in the valley, it's like that is the end of it, but it's not. That is just the beginning. You will rise again, and you will begin your journey from where you are and climb. So get this book, Beyond the Valley, the test of faith, love, and of character, to impact your life. It will give you keys to longevity. God bless you.
Fam, it's that time again. Finals. Oh yeah. GOtv, let's go. Final. GOtv, this is too big. The Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and more. Finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. GOtv, love it.
Ramsa season is up and running.
Save! Spain are the champions of the world!
Sports Break on Dominion TV.
We go around just making statements that are not even biblical. God reveals to redeem. It's not in the Bible. God reveals so we can walk, so we can enforce the word of God and the scriptures over the enemy's intent. Any hope and expectation the enemy has concerning your family and your loved one, by the eternal blood of Jesus, we override that hope. We override that expectation. Put your hands together and override it.
The Voice of Inspiration, weekdays and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. only on Dominion TV.
Okay, so we're told that today is World No Tobacco Day. And the question is, have you ever heard of anything like that? Do you know whether some of the stuff that you consume actually has tobacco in it? Do you know whether it's good for you? Are you taking too much of it? Are you taking too little of it? Do you know the health implications? Do you know the people who are in that supply chain, the people who are responsible for it? Do you know that there's actually an authority that is responsible for churning out these things, making us aware of what to consume, what not to consume? And so today we're going to be delving into all of these conversations, and we have in studio Ms. Jemima Odonko. She's head of tobacco and tobacco products department at the FDA. That's the Food and Drugs Authority. And then we have Dr. Ya Achia Boateng. She's a physician specialist at the International Maritime Hospital. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, I wish we could do girls' concert, but
I just wanted to say, no, introduce me.
I was about to mention your name. Yeah, so he's a man of many man wearing shirts of many colors.
Don't do that to me.
Wait, is it your father who gave it to you? Is your mother? Because we want to know.
You don't know that my middle name is Josephine.
Anyway, so World No Tobacco Day.
Yes, and I'm excited about the theme actually.
Yeah.
Unmasking the appeal, exposing industry tactics on tobacco and nicotine products.
Yes.
My question is, are you ready for the conversation or not?
I know, right? But a lot of people didn't even know that tobacco, or like there's World No Tobacco Day. People don't even know that some of the things that they consume has these things. So when they see tobacco, they thought, okay, probably we saw it in social studies sometime, and that's it.
Actually, for me, tobacco was cigar. Growing
right,
the cigar,
right,
tobacco for me. Some people too is the sniff.
The sniffing, right? Exactly. But I think that it goes. I mean, it goes beyond all of that. Right. For it to have a full department, tobacco and tobacco products. Right. World No Tobacco Day. Exactly. Well, I would want you to talk to us about it, why we have a special day for these things, and why that's theme even for this year.
Thank you so very much, and good morning to your viewers. So World No Tobacco Day, what is it and why World No Tobacco Day? So World No Tobacco Day is a day set aside by the WHO to commemorate a day to remind the population on the need for us to stay away from the use of tobacco. Because tobacco, research has shown that there's no benefits in the use of tobacco.
Not at all?
Not at all. The use of tobacco is deadly, and it has no benefits to human systems. So you ask yourself, why then do we still have tobacco?
Why does it even exist if it's not good for us?
Yes, tobacco is It's God's creation, but I'm not sure it was created for human purpose, for human consumption. However, it is not illicit. It is allowed. It can be used. And when it comes to Ghana, there are regulations when it comes to the use of these products.
Right.
You were mentioning that tobacco, and he was saying that when he was growing, he thought tobacco was just cigar. But if you look at the definition of tobacco in the Public Health Act, before I continue, our mandate to even regulate tobacco is found in the Public Health Act 2012 at 851 under Part 6. FDA's regulation our mandate is under Part 6, 7, and 8. The whole of Part 6 is on tobacco control measures. So everything about tobacco and its related issues is handled by the Food and Drugs Authority. So if I define what tobacco per the law is, so tobacco is any product made wholly from tobacco or partly from tobacco. So if we want to give examples of what tobacco is, the cigar that is mentioned is tobacco, cigarette is tobacco. I think Asra is also tobacco.
What's Asra?
Asra is the local snuff.
Oh, okay.
Then, and also shisha. Shisha is a tobacco product.
Tell the Gen Zs.
Yes, shisha is a tobacco product. Yes.
Right?
And when it comes to, yes, we find things like E6, vapes, then electronic cigarettes and others. They are not defined or they are not captured as tobacco products because basically most of these products are synthetically produced. They don't have any natural composition of tobacco in there. However, most of them do contain nicotine, the highly addictive component in the tobacco that people get hooked onto it and they are unable to stop the use of tobacco.
Okay.
So basically the World Health Organization set aside 31st of every year to remind us on the need for us to stay away from the use of tobacco in any form and to also remind us that if you don't use and you get yourself exposed or find yourself within a space where active smoking is occurring, you also equally at danger, just like the active smoker or the user. Yes, please.
I see. So our theme this year, bright products, dark intentions, unmasking the appeal.
Yes, that's a very wonderful thing. And this is because the tobacco industry, realizing that people are moving away from the traditional tobacco use because of the harsh effects it has on the human system, they are trying to project these other innovative forms as a safer forms of the tobacco. However, research has shown that there is nothing like a safe form or reduced harm when it comes to tobacco. And the dangerous thing about these electronic forms is that aside the nicotine, there are other components in there which we don't know the effects. We don't know the composition. We don't know how bad or what the effect is on the human system when it is consumed. We don't have enough data to support what these compositions or what is in these products. So it is not advised. And here in Ghana, these products are banned. They are not supposed to be in the country. They're not supposed to be on our markets. They are illicit, unlike the tobacco and tobacco products, which the system allows. And even with that, it has to go through the right procedure before you can have it on the market or to make it available for people to buy. So you have to come to the FDA, request to register, you go through the registration process, and then if it's approved, you can have it on the market. It doesn't make it safe though. Yeah.
Well, I'm still wondering why we agree there's a full regulation to it, if the thing is not good and all of that. But before we get into that, fact that we've seen lots of people selling drugs. What was that last week? Koku, was it this week where we saw the news? Somebody was selling these drugs, red and all of that, and then had a gun on it, and he was
exactly.
It was arrested. It was just a woman, right? And all these things that have come up, and I mean, I'm sure along the line would find out what your work relation is with the ports and all of these, porous borders that allow these things in. But Doc, let's get to the health part of it. We are told that this thing, however you look at it, small, big, smoking, smelling it, or anything at all is not good. I want you to run us through the health hazards when it comes to tobacco.
So as Jemima rightly said, tobacco does not have any benefits to the human. And there are two main pathways through which the harm occurs.
Okay.
So one pathway is the nicotine, and that's the addictive substance in the tobacco. So it's habit forming, you become dependent on it, and then you're always wanting it. So that's one aspect. And this nicotine has effects on all systems in the body, so I'll run us through that. And then there are also other parts of the tobacco. So there are these like harmful toxic substances or chemicals that are also found in the tobacco. And right from cultivation of the tobacco plant can absorb like cadmium, lead from the soil, so it's in the plant. And then during the processing of the tobacco, they are curing it, they are drying it, they are yellowing it, they are adding, the new compounds are being formed. So we have these tobacco-specific nitrosamines. These are toxic to the body. They are carcinogenic, and the carcinogenic means like cancer-causing agents. So these tobacco-specific nitrosamines are carcinogenic to the body. And then the most harmful bit is when the tobacco is being burned. And in burning, that is the smoking aspect. When it's being smoked, a whole lot more of these toxic chemicals are being produced. And some of these toxic chemicals are formaldehyde. If you've heard of formaldehyde, when you go to the mortuary and you take a dead body to the mortuary, they have to go through a process for preservation so that the body doesn't rot. The chemical that they use to preserve the body, that is formaldehyde. So imagine this chemical in your body. It's a carcinogen. So wherever...
Formaldehyde?
Yes.
Formalin?
That's it?
From the smoking, yes. Yeah.
You didn't know before. You see when I said formalin?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Someone who just knew cigars, tobacco, you think
I know, right? Formalin.
You think highly of me, Pao.
So, yeah. So imagine you're having this toxic chemical in your body. And the way these toxins work is anywhere they get deposited in the body, they can cause DNA mutations, and then cancer cells start forming. So wherever you find it gets into contact, cancer can form there. So right from the time you put it to your lips, so your lips, your mouth, your tongue, your salivary glands, your tonsils, your throat, and then it can travel to other parts of the body. When it goes into your lungs, so the lungs is where gas exchange occurs.
Right.
Ideally, oxygen is what should be going into the airway. So when oxygen goes into the airway, it gets into the lung tissue. At the lung tissue, that is where oxygen moves into the blood system. So if it's traveling, if all these toxins are in the blood or have gone into the airway, now they're also getting access into your blood system. And the blood system runs throughout the body. So anywhere blood is flowing, the toxins are going there, and then cancer can form there. There are so many other chemicals. There are about more than 1,000 harmful chemicals in tobacco. And then more than 100 are toxic. About 70 are carcinogenic. So imagine one puff, 70 things are forming. There's benzene, there's acrolein, there's furan. There are so many, arsenic, carbon monoxide, exhaust. Yes, that's carbon monoxide. All this is in you when you are smoking. It's being formed in you. You're inhaling. It's going into your bloodstream. Hydrogen cyanide. So there are a whole lot of chemicals, and these chemicals will affect your heart. They can reduce the effect of your immune system, which is supposed to protect you from cancers and stuff. They damage your airways, they damage your lungs, so you end up with all these conditions. And the main thing is they are carcinogenic. So that's one pathway. Then we come to the nicotine. So when you're putting the cigarette to your mouth, when you're putting the hookah to your mouth, think about all these things that are happening in the body. You may not see it right now, but the effects will show later. It's like any disease. The initial stages, you may not have any symptoms. But by the time you have symptoms, that means it's advanced. It's the same thing with tobacco products. So moving on to nicotine. So nicotine is that addictive substance in the tobacco. And like I said earlier, it affects all systems in the body. So let's take our cardiovascular system. So the cardiovascular is our heart, our blood vessels, the circulatory system, basically. And it's a stimulant, so it stimulates what we call the sympathetic nervous system.
Okay.
And this makes you, like what we call the fight or flight system. I don't know if you've heard of that. So when you're about to engage in an activity, so the body takes it like a stress period, and then it releases these stress hormones, epinephrine, adrenaline, noradrenaline, into the cortisol, into the bloodstream. And what these hormones do are they constrict the blood vessels, they increase your heart rate, they increase your blood pressure. So right then that's hypertension. Hypertension is increased blood pressure. So if you're always smoking and your body is in this stimulated form, that means your blood pressure is always up. And when your blood pressure is up, that's where your risk for stroke increases, your risk for heart disease increases. And then this nicotine also increases formation of blood clots in the body.
Okay.
So you'll be getting clots, so it can cause heart attacks, it can cause a form of stroke, what we call the infarctive stroke, it can cause embolisms. So it is not something we should be ingesting.
Right.
In earlier times, tobacco was, the medicinal properties, it was being used as an antiseptic. If you know what an antiseptic is, it's not supposed to be ingested. It's supposed to use on the external surfaces or of the body. And imagine you're drinking an antiseptic. So that's one aspect. So that's just the cardiovascular system. Then we come to the respiratory system. So that's your breathing.
My God.
People need to know what one puff can do. So people really need to know. So when we talk about the respiratory system, so that's your airways, that's your lungs. And what it does is it damages lung tissue. Nicotine can damage the lung tissue. It also serves as an airway irritant, and then it leads to what we call chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. So you have these irreversible lung damage that you can't do anything about. Most of the time you have to be on steroids. Steroids also come with their complications.
Right.
Weight gain, hypertension, and all sorts of other things. So you are constantly coughing. If you've had even a cough for 1 week, you know how uncomfortable it is. And then imagine every day, any little thing, coughing all over. So that is one thing. That's also another way nicotine affects the system. Then when we talk about, we can talk about the reproductive system. So both in men and in women, usually when we talk reproductive, everybody's mind is going to the woman. But nicotine also directly affects the sperm of men. So yes, so reduce your sperm count, bring up abnormalities in the sperm. So instead of it having a round head, the sperm head is triangular or it's something, and then it reduces. So you have fertility issues in the male. It also causes fertility issues in the women. So when we're out there and we're smoking the shisha and we're
chilling,
know what is happening in future. Later you get married and you're having difficulty having children. It could be from the smoking that you were doing. And then that aside, it increases your risk, your pregnancy risk. Risk in pregnancy. You can have preterm birth.
Okay.
Also low birth weight. When you give birth and the babies are so small, they don't reach their 2.5 kilos and they're like 1 kilo, and you now have to be in the incubator and you're in hospital all the time. All these tiny, tiny babies. And then also, after you've delivered your baby, there are effects on the baby.
I would love us to actually get to that. But wait, let's digest all of these things that you have.
I know it's a lot.
What?
And we're not even done.
That's just one puff.
Yep.
About 1 million negative things are happening to you. Koku, don't you ever?
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I want to unpack it from this angle. So that's why I'm going to be asking some questions. Some of them are trick questions, but you can answer them freely. Is there anything you can point out, of course, after speaking about antiseptic, the issue of tobacco and nicotine, what we use it for, industrial use of these things? I want to know. Is there any? Or maybe that question should go to you. Is there any
no, so far
nicotine?
we have there's nothing documented
Nothing at all.
on that, no.
Even industrial use?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
So why do we have farms of these things?
Okay. Now.
It's a stimulant. So.
Right. Okay. Now, also, this to you before I come to you, because the questions are coming to you. Are you ready for it? Because I warned you already.
No problem.
The issue about smoking, and I've heard this, I know of a doctor. He's died though. I don't know what he died of. Right. He was quite old before dying. I'm sure that man should be around the 60s, if not 70.
Okay.
But people are able to point to doctors who are chain smokers and say they have lived long. And when they go, what we are told is that they go and wash their system. They have something, they wash their system. And I've seen art, especially in Nigeria as well, where and they advertise this in the skits, where they say you can smoke or whatever, but they put an ad out there and say, when you take this, it washes the system. I want to know, balance this two. Is it possible that you have something that washes the system, especially after smoking?
Not that I know of. I haven't heard of any compound or
not even
concoction that will wash your system. The only thing is, smoking doesn't kill you instantly. It doesn't it's not like an overdose thing that I smoked too much today, so I'm going to die. Like maybe when you're taking a poison or something. No, but the effect builds up gradually over time. Things will happen at the cellular level before tissue, then organ, then the effects start coming. So it's not something that is going to kill you like right away.
I see.
But with time, definitely.
You adopted your separate theme for Ghana. Is that what you did? Is there a separate theme?
No, it's the
Ghana?
same thing we are working on.
Because I didn't hear exposing the other side in yours. What she read.
bright products.
Okay, that is the hashtag for the.
Hashtag.
Yes.
So it's the same.
So
thing.
it's the same thing.
So you referred to the Public Health Act 2012. Is that it?
Exactly.
851.
851.
So owing from what you had said, right, and for which we clearly do not have a need for tobacco or nicotine. I'm quoting 116, which is of course the restriction on importation and manufacture.
Okay.
The minister may, by executive instrument, prohibit the importation, manufacture, exportation, advertisement of sale of a drug, herbal medicine, cosmetic, medical device, or household chemical substance as specified in the instrument. Why has FDA, no matter how draconian you think it could be, if there's no use and need for it, what are we waiting for?
So
why has FDA not
advised the minister? You see, as regulators, we were per the law, and that is where our mandate is. So if the public, we have a lot of CSO advocating for some of these bans. And what we encourage is we need a lot of data. Locally, we don't have enough data to support our claims. We have a lot of data to support why the need for Ghana to ban the importation or the use of tobacco outright within the country. Even though we have enough data globally to support the lethal effects of tobacco use on the human system, before you can advise the minister on anything, you should have good enough data, locally generated data to support your claim. So yes, we have a lot of information about the lethal effect of tobacco, but locally, we don't have enough data to say, okay, based on this, we have maybe 1,000 people die from tobacco use, or the effects of tobacco on children is this. So based on that, we advise that it is right, it would be the right thing to do to outlaw the use of tobacco in Ghana. We are still pushing, and as regulators, as I said, if it is banned, we will regulate it as such. So far as it is licit, the requirements are so clear on its use. If you look at the Public Health Act, it bans smoking in public. So you cannot be within a space where other people are and then smoke freely. The law disallows it. Even in pubs, where people feel it is a free space to smoke, it is not even allowed. Yes, you cannot. The law disallows, because the pub is a public space. You are not to smoke within the pub. You are not to smoke in a restaurant, wherever we have people congregating. You are not to smoke in there. If a facility owner allows smoking, it is up to the owner to designate a place,
a smoking area,
especially for that. That's the DStv.
Even that,
yes.
Because I'm worried now. So you say if it is only when there's research and data to show that.
To support, and that would, yes.
And it only has to come from someone else, and the FDA cannot even generate a data that. There's no research desk?
We have research desks, but our mandate as a regulator is to ensure that the measures as stipulated in the Act is being adhered to by the public.
We cannot advise the minister.
We can. And that's why I said based on evidence that we have from the system. So we work with a lot of CSOs, a lot of, we work with the medical team. Yes, we work with the universities, and then they are doing a lot of work when it comes to the use of these tobacco and tobacco products.
My last round of question before Biadela comes in is because I'm worried. Look, the FDA closes at 5 p.m. Like it or yes? You don't work beyond 6 p.m.
If you go to Tema, we are there all through 24 hours. The borders, the ports, we work all through.
So just Tema?
Tema, where we have the ports, the entry points, we are there 24 hours.
All right. So who would have to implement or enforce these no smoking thing? Is it Assembly or FDA?
It is the authority, the FDA.
Okay.
Yes.
So if the FDA only works at the port, and of course when we come to you as well,
when it comes to monitoring to ensure compliance, we have our team going out almost all through the day. At night we have a team going out to make sure that people are actually complying. We cannot be everywhere.
Do you have the personnel to be everywhere all the time? You see, that's the danger to say that people who even dedicate smoking areas, the enforcement of these laws, and we go out there. I go out to see people are smoking, and you speak to them, and they are apprehensive. I mean, they want to beat you up and all of that, because you cannot have, if you like, the personnel. You cannot supervise through and through, and people are still left to the mercy of these things. That is why I would want to say that it does not even, if there are research everywhere. I mean, we take researches, we quote, even the ministers quote researches that are done from the United States of America to back claims. So why are we supposed to now, it's only when data is driving.
If you look globally, nowhere in the world has any country banned the use of tobacco.
Should I show you countries where a lot of things have been banned, where elsewhere it's not been banned?
But not tobacco.
No, I'm saying because if the problem is local,
yes,
you have to engineer local means to be able to deal with it.
But remember, we are global. We are not, so we cannot, yes. Yeah, that is why I would have wished tobacco is a no-no in Ghana. That would have made work very much easier for us. But here we find ourselves. So as regulators, we are doing whatever we can to ensure that non-smokers do not get themselves exposed. The vulnerable children, pregnant women, people with conditions do not get themselves exposed to some of these things. So we carry out a lot of public education. We go to schools, we go to market centers, we go to transport seminars, we visit churches, and then you may ask, why churches? Maybe you may not have smokers within the church environment. However, but you have parents in there who have kids who are hooked onto some of these things. Doc just mentioned that a puff of cigarettes or a puff of whatever type of tobacco contains a whole lot of toxic chemicals. But let me also say to you that we find most of our young ones now hooked onto shisha. And research has also shown that if you smoke shisha for close to an hour, it's like smoking between 100 sticks to 200 sticks of cigarettes at a go. So you can imagine, if just a puff can introduce a whole lot of toxicants into your system, how much more hooking yourself onto shisha for close to an hour? And that is a big issue.
Milady,
most people,
no further questions.
Yes.
Well, I remember we had a conversation sometime with you.
Exactly.
We're talking about this no smoking policy.
Exactly.
And I was asking how much work we have done, because some of us get to maybe pass through circle in some places. We hear that people are not supposed to smoke in public places. Where did we find the Lucifer village?
It's a circle.
Thank you very much. All the crazy happens there. And there are certain hot spots for these things. I don't know where you look for your data, but I can tell you that there are certain places that I can point you to find data. My question is, if we know this much, Shisha is not good. Young people are hooked on it and all of that. Shisha didn't generate from cloves and wintia, which is locally produced, right? These are stuff that we brought in.
Exactly.
Where are we getting it wrong? At what point? Because you see, people young people started hooking on shisha because, probably I smoked it when I went to the UK or when I went to the US. It was really cool, So
it's a borrowed culture.
That's my English. And we just like fashion and every other thing, we've just pounced on it. Excellent. And we are now doing public education. And how many people are listening to us right now? How many children are listening to us right now? Most of the people are in lectures. They are in universities. Are you getting it? Yeah. And how many parents have that much grip on their children? So why do we nurse the thing to get to that point before we want to kill it?
Exactly. So, as I said, we do carry out a lot of public education. We go to schools, they're both primary, JHS, secondary, and recently we've visited quite a number of the tertiary institutions, and it's not just in Accra. If you go all through the countries where we have our offices, we have officers on the field. Now,
we're working
the public, on the need for us not to engage in any of these things. With the issue of shisha influx on our markets, most of these products do come in through unapproved routes. Sometimes you get to the markets and it's like they're out there.
Tell me some of the unapproved routes, because you tell me that some of your people work at the ports.
Yes, they are the borders. But most of these consignments comes in, and maybe the person bringing in the consignment may declare that this is rice. You are not able to, it's a huge cargo. You are not able to go deep into the content of the whole system. Some of them may have these things hidden in there.
So that is why we don't have the systems to check it. Is that it?
We do. Probably the systems are not so robust, because as to how these things gets onto our market, it's quite disturbing. Some may even have them in their personal luggages, and then that would come into the market without you noticing. So what we do constantly, or most of the time, is also to get stuff on the market and then to do this surveillance. And then we carry out quite a number of sweeps to clear the market with some of these stuff.
So you go with the police?
However, we go with the police, and then, you go to then the next time you get another information that you have another group also indulging in the same thing. So I think probably the way out, if some of these products are maybe taken out of the system, like ban, that would help. But shisha, as I said, is a tobacco product. So just like tobacco, we regulate it. So before you can put it out there to sell to the public, it has to come to FDA for it to be registered. And there are requirements for the registration, and that is where,
Wow. Register the pain.
It's not easy.
Register the hurt. Register the broken future. That's amazing. Anyway, but I want us to you started with fertility. I want us to, by way of education, because so Coco and I go to the pub, which we've never been, we'll never go. And then maybe we're smoking, we get married, because we see lots of preterm babies and all these deformities lately, and then we run to church. Right? Now I want you to educate us, we the young ones who are shishaing our lives away. What should we expect, or what are we what future are we hoping to have when it comes to reproduction? Talk to the women, please.
Okay. So the shisha has become like a fad, like a fashion kind of thing. Everybody is hooked onto it. When you go out and you don't do it, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, cake.
You are a cake, yes. I see a lot of young adults in the clinic coming through to do medicals, that kind of stuff. And whenever you take their social history, do you smoke? Then they'll look at you funny. Oh, shisha, shisha, oh, shisha. And it's so common. It's so common. But it's doing a lot of harm because it's a tobacco product. And once it's a tobacco product, it has all these harmful toxic substances we're talking about. And these go into the body and then do damage to our reproductive system. It's harming the male, it's harming the female. So the ladies, when we're out there and we are smoking and we think, when it's time to have the babies and your mothers are on you and you've been married, it's 2 years, 3 years, and the child is not coming and the pressure, then you forget what you did in the past that could have led to this. So if this is not advice enough, I'm not sure how we can get them to. So even in the clinic, like I talk to them, it's tobacco, it's not a good product, it's not, you talk to them. So any avenue available, we use it to educate them. We're here today, we're educating the public and all. But for women, fertility is something you cannot live without, unless it's a choice, you don't want to have children. But even if you don't get married and you age, now the end thing is, instead of it should be marriage, children, now it's like, even if you're aging, just have your child. And you see, at that point, you'll be having difficulty. Then you're spending millions, and now you're going to look into IVF, and you're going to look into this, and you're going to do that. And when it affects the male sperm too, it's also an IVF thing that would have to come in, and that is money.
Right.
Yes, because if the sperm aren't viable, so he will ejaculate and all, but there's no viable sperm to go and fertilize the egg. So eventually they would have to take the sperm, look through, try and boost it with some medications, which is also expensive. Then now get a sample, then select some viable ones, and then try and fertilize the egg outside, and then now come and implant into the woman. All this is money. So the shisha that you are smoking is going to cost you millions down the line. IVF is not cheap. It's not on insurance. Even when you travel abroad, you don't get it on insurance unless you fit into certain categories. So this is like, you are harming your future. And then when you have difficulty having, even after you've been able to have the children also have, the babies are also affected. So when you have, so preterm birth, you can have stillbirths, all that. So that one, the baby doesn't even survive. Then those that will come preterm babies come with a whole lot. Everything is underdeveloped. Their lungs, their heart, their organs, everything is underdeveloped. So they need that kind of help. So that's why they're in the incubator. We're trying to keep their temperature at normal because they can't regulate it themselves. They can't breathe, so they're on oxygen. They can't breathe well themselves. They're on oxygen. Their digestion is a problem. So we are kind of like doing all those activities for them. Yes, for them to be able to get to an appreciable weight, for them to now take over those activities themselves. And then it also affects their brain. So your babies, the brain development is affected when the baby is exposed to all these tobacco products. And then mommy being, papa being, then all of a sudden your child is not doing too well in school, and you can't get where it's coming from. Your mommy is this and your daddy is this, and it's because of what the smoking that you did.
It's not spirit.
It's not spirit. So, but that's when they'll start running to church, and now
it's the pastors that will suffer. Wow.
So, yes.
So it actually affects the child's brain. They are unable to catch up like even their parents did.
Yes. And even in our young adults who smoke, it also has effects on the nervous system. So their mood, their behavior, their sleep, and also their should I say, brain development. Brain development goes on up to about 25. So if you're smoking in your teens, your brain is still developing. So you're hindering the development that is happening at that time. So when you go to class, concentration, then you see your performance is just going down. You're not able to sleep well. When you're not sleeping well, those are risk factors also for hypertension. So one thing is connecting somewhere and leading to something somewhere. Yes.
Anyways, today is World No Tobacco Day. The theme, once again, unmasking the appeal, exposing industry tactics on tobacco and nicotine products. We still have our guests in studios. Have there been any products that you have approved that have these?
Approved as in made available. There are quite a number of the tobacco product out there that has been registered by the FDA. Exactly.
Okay, well, that are there, right? And so
Yes.
they have these.
The label requirements or the needed labeling requirements should be there. The pictorial health warning, it should be for sale in Ghana only, and then not to be sold to people under the ages of 18. Yes, and then basically that. And then the pictorial health warning should cover a certain percentage of the package. So if we look at cigarettes, I think the back page should have about 60% of the health warning, so that it should be easily seen. So people can really.
Because I'm here, you say, smoke responsibly. They say one puff is dangerous. They say smoke responsibly. I don't know what I have.
But you know the funny thing? When you go to the shops, you never see the cigarettes at the back. They're always in front at the counters. And isn't there something that can be done?
Is that the people can't hear?
To regulate?
I don't know. Like, put it at the back of the shop.
I mean, it's total or partial. For me, it's not even partial ban, because if what I have heard, I have not heard it like this before. See, I get to hear it. You find out, oh, it's bad. But you say one puff, just one, destroys a lot. You even exhaust. You see,
yes,
more like you have internal exhaust pipe in you. I mean, so I'm here thinking, what question else do I have to ask? Because if we're here sensitizing on what exactly the things are in the country, they are being used. One puff will kill you or will lead to something else. So what are we supposed to sensitize on?
Yes.
When you go take two. Or take one, or half.
So when we are sensitizing,
you see my difficulty?
If you are not smoking, don't start it.
Yeah.
Don't. If you are smoking and you want to stop, seek help. Don't resort to the use of the so-called innovative forms, the E6. None of them has been approved to be used as a cessation medicine or drug for staying away from the use of the normal tobacco. If not the patches, not the nicotine gum, none of them. These are all illicit tobacco product out there or illicit product out there. So the best is to seek for medical help.
So let's say I'm addicted to something.
Yes.
And I go to, let's say, therapy, or how do you call the house? The
Anonymous.
Rehab?
Yeah.
The rehabs. One of the things they will do is the withdrawal therapy. Is that how you call it? That is a medical term to it. So which means that for a period of time, I'm not supposed to see that. Only for me to come out, and just as you said, it's displayed on the counter.
All there.
You get where I'm coming from. So I'm saying that I can't imagine that we're having this discussion in 2025. Because if the world can shut on a lot of things, no amount of signing on to any convention must deter us, from banning this.
You know,
you understand where I'm coming from? And I'm speaking from the
tobacco,
right?
Okay. It cannot be advertised. Advertisement on tobacco is banned. You cannot advertise.
Don't worry, we don't need advertising. We just walk in there.
It's displayed. Right. So people like you, that it's an informal way of advertisement, which in a way it is. But you see, the law. No, the law bans. You can't sponsor any program. You can't contribute to anything with the tobacco gains. Yeah.
Call it conspiracy theory.
Before, when we were growing, you have to see the embassy double do, the sponsor Miss Ghana. But when the law was formulated, then they have to just pack out because the law bans the sponsor.
If not for anything, I'm sure someone somewhere is making tons of money.
Yeah, I just mentioned the farm for it
into this country. And it is some people. Well, anyways, I'm just speaking like because I'm sure they agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also want to think of the frustration of parents.
Exactly.
Right? Also because
help them.
We might not, parents might not be able to control all the way.
They can't. 8 hours in school.
Exactly. And teachers would have little or nothing to do because look at the ratio. Students is to one teacher. I catch the flow. So it's as though we gave green lights to what should be red flags.
I'll tell you an experience. I was my first place of teaching. We noticed that there are some people who were doing a lot of illicit things, and we're talking JHS, not SHS. We had to trace what were they doing in the washroom, the restrooms. The cigarettes were all over the place.
Wow.
Kids!
And the very scary thing now is that with these new innovations, the E6, some of them will come in a very flashy device, like a pen drive, a pen. So a child may even be having a watch on. It's likely that device may be an electronic form. And that is what
we're in a gadget world.
this campaign is about, to let parents, teachers, and all others know that, yes, the tobacco industry, they are out there. Their aim is to make money.
Yeah.
They don't have any of us at heart. They are not into safeguard the system. Their main aim is to enrich themselves the more, because they've realized that a lot more people are moving away from their traditional tobacco. So how then do they stay in business? So they've come up with the so-called harm reduced, whatever. There's nothing like harm reduced form.
We don't even have social inclusion programs.
Right?
Or, intervention programs where
they have this don't quit switch, trying to promote like, oh, this is less harmful.
Exactly, and that is what we're trying
the older types of
but these
tobacco.
Are all deception, just
it's
to
all deception.
Deceive the public.
And they're preying on the youth with all these gadgets and stuff. It's flashy. You know, everybody's now into gadgets.
Exactly.
And it's fashionable.
If you see some of these devices, some come in like lipstick form, very nice pen drive. So if you see a child with such a device, nothing will click that this child is. So
they come in different flavors. So they're like, there's vanilla, there's chocolate, there's candy.
See how doctor is saying it is looking nice. Somebody will say, "Oh no, I'm saying that anybody's selling vanilla. Anybody's selling. Once you love those flavors, you'd readily go to buy.
There used to be a menthol flavor. So imagine how many people don't take mints. Chewing gum. Always want to, your breath to smell good. So the menthol one was like a disaster. So that got banned in several countries. You can't do a menthol flavor.
So they banned it?
Yes.
So they banned it?
Not the tobacco itself, but
I'm saying that the product.
I mean, it should start from one product to another.
But
yes, and then we need
it's the political will,
things.
Commitment and political will. That's all there is. By the way,
and then we need the media as well to help push some of these things through. Because for us as regulators, we would do our bits. But if we don't get the backing from the public, the media,
what do you need from us? What you are getting?
Yes, push. Yes, just like you have provided this platform for us to inform or educate the public out there. I think we can do a lot more. And she mentioned the timing. Around this time, we find most of our kids in school. Parents at work. So ask yourself, how many people are viewing to even appreciate what we are putting out there? It's quite serious when it comes to tobacco and tobacco use out there, because you may say I don't smoke, but you live in a compound house, a neighbor smokes. What happens?
Well, as much as you look forward to the media helping, the media is also telling the Minister of Health to go into the act, and it's there for you to see 116. The provision is there. You may, and you've got to do it. If it's a big problem, and you've got to do it. You are the Minister of Health. Do it. Nobody will come after you. Nobody, no loan, no grant to stop. Do it. And let's have this. Because the dangerous part is the skip makers. I just mentioned to Doc that Nigeria, look at the number, and they are advertising it. That when you smoke, you can flash your system and all of that. And then they'll show it. And how many of people, look, if that skit comes from Nigeria to me. And
these are all industry tactics. So they will use such channels and then try to tell you that, you can smoke. However, you can get yourself or your system cleansed after the smoke.
How strong is your social media,
presence as an FDA? We're almost on all the social media handles. Facebook, Instagram, X. We're almost on all the social media.
But have you thought of maybe some content or these
things? We
have
a lot of messages out there when it comes to these things. We've created a lot more, especially this year in reference to this year's theme, to educate and let the public, and we are doing a lot more. And on Saturday, which is the 31st is the World No Tobacco Day, so the main program would happen in the Volta region. Yes, the launch would be on the Monday, which is on the 2nd.
Okay.
The 31st is a weekend. However, but before then, we have a series of activities happening. So as I speak to you now, we have a lot of our members out there on the field, some in schools, market centers, and other places, educating the public on the need for us to stay away from these products, especially the so-called there's innovative products, the E6, the E6, the vapes, which are indicated are illicit in Ghana. They are banned. They are not supposed to be on our markets. Okay. And so all those products out there are banned. And if you are caught with any of them, the law would deal with you as stipulated in our regulations. And so aside the public education on Friday, we've also put together a quiz contest for students from selected school in the Volta region. So that will happen on Friday. Okay. To also mark the day and to sensitize the student population on the need for them to stay away from these products. Then Sunday we will visit churches with our campaign. Then the Monday the launch will happen. That is at the whole technical university. Yes, where we'll have CSOs, WHO, they will all be present to make statements, and the minister will be there to launch the.
Oh, Koku, the minister will be there. Yeah. We'll send the message to.
Why did you come? Am I the minister's PA?
Yeah. But you're the one who just sent a message to the minister. Yes. So it's going to be there. Well, Doc, let me take your last words and then we can file out.
So tobacco has no benefits to the human being. If it only causes harm, it causes damage, cancer, and other common things I didn't mention: kidney disease, diabetes, osteoporosis. It causes a whole lot. Obesity. It's a whole spectrum of, there's nothing good about tobacco. So let's not be deceived with all these new gimmicks and the e-cigs and the vapes, and let's not be deceived with any of these products. They are going to harm us and they are going to affect your future. You'll be looking at cancers. Any part of the body can get cancer, any part. So let's move away from tobacco and all tobacco products. That's right.
Right, so let's move away from tobacco and all tobacco products. Thank you very much, Dr. Acha Boateng. Okay, and then you're a physician specialist at the family physician. Oh, okay. Woman. Oh, wow, that's really great. Family physician. Coco and I are trying to put up a family, so we'll call you. Yeah, right? Coco, would you go? You go. Okay, they say men don't like going to hospital. So I said for only 2 things. I don't want to mention it. But then Ms. Jemima Odonko, head of tobacco and tobacco products department at the FDA.
Another big
Thank you. Yes, real big women. So aren't we blessed to have big women here? Yeah. But the crux of it is that it depends on you and me to do this, right? We are doing it for ourselves first. So if you are a mother, a father, you have children, let's start educating them about these things now so that they don't become national, statistics that we are looking for that we are not finding. So you want to do it right. Start today. If you're a pastor, start talking about it in church. Start sensitizing the youth. Get to Sunday school. Treat these things, and do it for God and country. My name is Precious Biatola, and
moi aussi, mon nom est Kokulumo. Au revoir.
Hey.